Live, swearing,
like your church.
do anything bad right now. Because we've been live for 10 seconds already. Let's see, who's going to be the first comment we're going to see? Come on, boys and girls. I guess no one's watching tonight, Clint. No, they're coming.
I'm sure I screwed something up.
I don't know. I saw like there was over 150 already chiming in, but I don't. Oh, there's a comment.
About time, Clint.
About time, Clint. We're starting it off right. Good work, River Randy. Good work, guys. What's up, everybody? You guys know the drill. Maybe you don't. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Got a fun conversation tonight, and we are going to let everyone take a few moments to get in here. If you're on YouTube, for a split second, pull yourself away from the chat and give it a thumbs up, if you would. And maybe we can coax Marlon into giving away some really cool stuff because I think it's like a couple days from Christmas, right? I don't know.
2 days.
Make Marlon think about it here. Or maybe we'll just go next door to the store and just give away a bunch of stuff. What do you want to do? You guys
could do that.
We could do that. We could do that. We could do that. Yeah, all right, guys. We got Ben in the house.
If you're gonna do that, you gotta at least get a Santa hat on or something. You gotta. You're not very festive.
No, I'm not. I don't have. I can't do the white beard.
I mean, you kind of got the whole black hat, black coat.
No. Sorry. Next time I should bring an ugly. We have our ugly sweaters. Damn it! Why am I not wearing one of those? Do we still have any of those, Marlon? Got the ugly.
I brought my shirt for you. I don't know if they can see.
Yeah, you don't want to read that. Got Casey Kelly in the house tonight. Ryan McCon. A couple guides, local guides around here too. We're spend probably 250 days on the water. I figured nobody better for coming in and having a conversation about river etiquette tonight. So we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about your guys' stories. We'll let you guys chime in here. This discussion is always a really fun discussion. It seems like we always run into some really cool stuff. So, you know, everyone's out there hitting the rivers, getting ready. Maybe we're getting ready to do some sturgeon fishing. Maybe you're getting all amped up for those Springer forecasts that were pretty good.
I'm pretty hyped about that.
Yeah. I mean, getting out there, there's a lot of steelhead around. Things are going on. So, figure we bring these two guys in here to join in the discussion. What's that?
Oh, Gaffney.
I didn't know 14-year-olds could guide. Yeah, Gaffney. That's. Yeah. We need to get Gaffney here one time.
It's always him.
Did you get his new stickers yet?
Good evening. Good evening, low rollers. Good evening, Bob. How's it going? What's up, Joaquin? Yes. Yep. Fisherman, they probably do, but we're not condoning that. But they got new rafts donated to where they're going to get checked a little more often up there for barbs in the OP. So you're going to do that.
They got a fleet.
Yeah, a fleet. Right on. We got Lyle. Let's see here. Marlon looks weird without his beard. These guys are both taller than Marlon, so I don't know why you're even thinking about that. We got our first super chat. Sharon Watson Fishes. Let's go. Hello. Wait, what?
Let's go, Brandon.
Wait, what are you doing?
Let's go, Brandon. That's what it says.
Yeah, but... Oh, you missed it, Clint. That's what's going on. Oh, I was really confused. So for a second there, so the super chat says, let's go, Brandon, which, Brandon, awesome. Good job, Brandon. Like, I don't understand it still. Yeah, it's a joke as well. But he had something else up there, and so I thought YouTube was, like, censoring that.
I don't know.
I was like, how the hell did they do that?
The comments, I missed.
Yeah. No, it was weird. I was like, yeah. So Clint misclicked.
Yeah, whatever.
Misclick Clint.
Marlon's producing tonight. Clint's not here.
No, Clint is here, and you'll know if it freezes or screws up or anything else like that.
Yeah,
There's
that's
some. Just got my boat a few months ago back. Turned out, floated over the hole. Some guys anchored up. I heard he caught fish because I blew the hole up after the. Oops, newbie.
Okay, so like right there, some bitch 36. That's his name. I just got a boat a few months ago, floated over. We're going to talk about that a lot in depth. So, and actually, it's funny. We just did a podcast with these two, and Ryan kind of keyed up a very good point that made the discussion very lively and interesting. And
The category just it goes so far when you talk about etiquette and everything.
Oh, there's a million.
We could drive that road for hours.
Yeah, exactly. But we're letting it tune in there. You guys know, comment where you're tuning in from. We'll pick a prize here. We'll let people get tuned in here for another minute. And then if you guys have any questions, we got a lot of new anglers in the Northwest. Let's be honest. COVID especially. A lot of new anglers out there. We've got some fish around. Everything, stuff's being shut down. Like, let's be real. Like, there's a lot of rivers and stuff that, people might have had kind of scoped out. And now they can't participate in that fishery anymore. Maybe they can fish it, but since they can't get out of the boat, in and out of the boat easy, they got to go somewhere else. And we don't blame them. So we're going to see more people on the rivers this year. And Dean Doppelman, thank you for the super chat as always. Great topic with all-star cast of characters. Oh, it's a cast of characters, bud. It's very much a...
I saw a comment go by me, and you need to switch spots. I'm not sure. Is that my taller?
You're agreeing that it's not an all-star cast of characters when you say that, right?
I am agreeing that it's a cast of characters.
Right.
All-star...
But not an all-star.
We'll see about
Yeah,
that.
agreed.
Working on it.
Hashtag agreed.
Days we catch fish, we're the hero. Days we don't, we're zero.
Well, why do you have this guy talking etiquette too, by the way? Give me a break.
Oh, we got some stories of that.
Oh.
We got some great stories with that. Oh, we'll get into that.
Oh, I mentioned that I was
I
on
always do
for
it on cold.
etiquette, and first thing a friend talked about was Drano Lake.
Hold it. That's a good little touch-off conversation.
Yes.
It's in,
Headlights.
oh, there it goes. Yeah.
Ooh, that's the worst.
Oh,
That is the worst.
I always say there's a special place in hell for those people.
That is number one, the
But I
worst.
do understand. But we'll talk about that interaction with the headlights on the truck. On what maybe you should do. Maybe you should do. Oh, Gaffney, I'm sure you will.
You just heard it.
Thanks for the super chat.
I'll
buddy.
call you on my way home.
Yeah. But just got to, anyways, we'll talk about the interaction with the guy with the headlights on and how the other people should act as well. Yes. So
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
I am a
we're gonna talk about it now.
tackleaholic. Can you help me? Gary, we can help you. If you go to addicted.fishing, there's a wide range of great tackle selections and options.
Just keep hitting that add to cart button.
There is so much good stuff on there to check out. And you know what? We still got some really good items still. And I tell you what, check out that store. Plenty to shop for. Plenty to shop for.
Step one's done.
Yeah,
You
step
missed
one's
the
done.
problem.
Addicted.fishing, and you can absolutely go nuts on it. Oh my gosh.
Some prize bags.
Man.
Santa Claus came to town.
Got some good ass prize bags.
Santa Claus came to town. Wow, we got 3 awesome prize kits, and let's just kind of roll over these. Like I said, we've got addicted worms. I wonder what you're going to want to use those for right now. We've got our new fluorescent orange addicted float. Heck yeah, fixed float setup. Good pairs with the worms.
There's $1,000 worth of stuff in here.
We got a hat. Oh, we got another float. The yellow floats as well. I don't know if they're all the same, but they all
Yeah,
look
they got
good.
one of each.
And I
and
think
then
we
the
gotta
one-
add these in there.
Oh yeah. You
Ooh,
better
let's
throw
go to the vertical cam,
My
bro.
nose.
We gotta
it's a
show
vertical.
what's up. Boom.
Wait,
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, let me turn it around. There we go. Boom. Check that out, boys and girls. The Boomerang Snips Addicted label.
Howdy, yeah.
Whoa, wait a second. The
Yeah.
side cam is now the vertical cam?
It's not
That's still a
side.
side cam.
Cam got really pissed off that we called it side cam with the volleyball serve instead.
Oh!
I don't care about side cam, but side cam was awful for you guys trying to listen to us and everything, so we had to go away from side
Side cam, that's kind of dirty. That is kinda dirty.
I had to produce, and so we made this camera since it didn't happen for months.
God.
And months and months, thanks to Clint. So, you guys have been commenting long enough. Clint, let's go ahead and just start it off with our first winner tonight. It's also, if you guys haven't also seen, it is this prize pack is cased up in one of our new Addicted Baccamall fillet bags. And as you can see here, perfect size for fillet bags. Both these guys. See, usually when I do this, the producer would realize what I'm trying to do.
Looking
I'm not
at
just
other things.
I'm not just praising like, oh, the kill bag, oh. But you say Baccamall, Addicted Fishing, nice wide bag, definitely good enough for like Chinook fillets, coho fillets. You could put 20 kokanee in this, no problem. It's good thick material. It's got a good zipper. Honestly, it's really hard to find a lot of these like 2.5 gallon bags out there all the time and not pay 70, 80 cents a bag. And we go through a lot of bags.
I get a lot of compliments on these bags. I mean, it shows when you get done at the end of the day and fillet the fish and put them in a nice bag. They're like, I feel like they're gonna get to the car without
it
Better
blowing
than
up
the
on the
fillet
ground.
dropping out in the gravel.
Right. And so for those that don't know, like,
So those
you know,
little things.
we've been playing with a lot of different like sample size bags, and these two were some of my guinea pigs that we were running these bags for like the last year, honestly.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the size we settled. We had one bag that was like a little 2 inches thinner, but we decided to widen it so you can cut a big Chinook fillet in half. That's a nice, convenient bag. It's on our website, addicted.fishing. But as you can see, it also works good for prize packs. So Clint, pick our first winner.
You don't
Our
want to
first
have
winter.
them get something? Like,
No, they've been commenting, and we've told them to, and I already said that you're just going to pick a winner right now. Victoria Holmes is claiming that we hit the 250 subs. When did we hit it today? We hit 250,000 subs today. It should be like 2 million compared to what else I see on YouTube, but we're happy with 250, and we thank every one of you guys for doing that. Yes, sir. That's pretty sweet.
250, 70. We've already got 70 new subs.
250, 70.
We've already got 70 new subs since we broke it.
No, well, shoot. I'm late to the party. I looked, was it last
It
night?
just happened today.
Yeah, last night it wasn't,
Yeah.
so that's pretty sweet. We're averaging
you
almost
pay
100
attention to
subs.
Addicted?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually fishing, Clint. Like, I'm actually doing stuff. Yeah, working and everything. Ah, David Bouchard
I can't wait till I'm 40.
loves side out
There every day,
camp.
freaking corking you, going in front of you.
You won't even know where I'm at,
Yeah,
dude.
you're like, hey, where are you?
You
It's like,
don't
come
even
down
know
and-
what level I'm on, but you won't even do nothing.
You win.
David Bouchard, congratulations. You won this first prize pack in my hands. You need to email orders at addicted.fishing, and we've got 2 other awesome prize packs to give away here, and they look very similar.
This one has this one come with a
What's up?
couple beads. We're gonna throw a couple beads in there for this one.
They may
Oh,
not-
those are our sample beads. But congratulations, David. Tell us what you won, and all you have to do is just say, hey, I won one of the Bunk 'em All fillet bag kits. So congrats, David. Yes. All right. So,
We can talk about the etiquettes.
I don't know. Should we? I mean, what's going on out there these days? What do you think? Current state of affairs.
Well, the rivers are high.
Rivers are high.
It's time to get out there once hopefully they don't blow out. Everybody get back out there after them.
Right.
It's winter time. Everybody's always grumpy.
Winter's grumpy. Grumpy time.
Grumpy time.
Why is everyone grumpy this time?
Well, I know why Washington steelhead fishermen are grumpy.
Yeah.
You shut down all their fisheries, they get a little bit grumpy about that right out of the gate.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. They didn't shut them all down. I mean, they only shut ones down that were really important to. They only shut ones down that were really important to protect wild fish, but then they left some open that had hatchery fish in it. But then on some rivers there was a lot of hatchery fish, but they kept those closed even though they had more winter. Never mind. Sorry. But anyways, yeah. So things are honestly
Sums it up.
we've got less areas to fish. I mean, no matter how you do it, there definitely isn't more areas. I mean, areas that we've reduced hatchery plants haven't miraculously come back, and we haven't seen all these other rivers just open up out of the blue for wilds. I mean, that just doesn't happen either. So there's been a net negative trend, right? I guess over the years, even though there's a couple little token spots open up. But bottom line is, fisheries are getting tougher, and then we had COVID.
Yeah.
And as you guys both know, fishing 250 days a year, a lot of new anglers.
My number one saying last year was, I didn't know 2 stimulus checks made it so no one had to work anymore. It seemed like everybody just stayed on the rivers.
Stemmies, they go on and on and on, I guess.
I mean, a couple extensions on some unemployment, and I felt like
Yeah.
not a lot of people went back to work.
I will say, however, the cookie crumbled last year, there was more anglers.
Yeah.
And it was demonstrated too, like I said, in steelhead fisheries. It was demonstrated in sturgeon fisheries. It was demonstrated in the good fall fisheries. I don't necessarily, but can you blame anybody though?
Well, they also said there was a 20% increase in license.
There's 40,000 extra license sales in the state of Washington. 40,000.
That's a lot.
I think boats are up 30% too, boat sales. So definitely holding people down for a year made people itching to go out and do stuff and just enjoy life and get in the outdoors.
And at the start of the year too, people weren't going to Blazer games. They still really weren't going out. A lot of guys are fishing, right? A lot of guys are fishing. Sorry, just reading that call. Okay, yeah, a lot of those guys are fishing. So we figured we'd bring up some few points. And anytime this live feed always ends up being a really back and forth conversation with you guys too. And we're gonna ask these guys. We're gonna ask a couple questions there too. We really love your guys' input on some of these things that we're gonna talk about.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. So, first things first.
I'm using my best etiquette right now. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk over you or low-hole your conversation.
You can,
Clint.
Oh wow.
yeah, you can talk about it. So let's start into it. Like let's talk about the headlights thing, and because I think the headlight thing might bring up a good demonstration. And the comment was, generally common practice, backing boats down. Things are going on, whether it's drift boats, power boats, whatever, busy time of year, Saturday morning at the ramp. Guys will back their trailer down. Generally, those people are a little more inclined to turn off headlights. And I'm using this to bring a point because everyone knows turn off your damn headlights. Some people can't.
Some people can't, right?
Some people can't.
Who?
And there
New
are
trucks, there's ways to get around it, but
No, you can in every truck.
they haven't
You
figured
can
it
on
out.
My Tundra.
there's a lot of trucks out there, Clint.
My
That you,
LED white driving lights, you can't turn them on.
there's
Right.
a lot of trucks out there, Clint, and some of the older Dodges too. Like
They turn
there's
on no matter what. There's 0 ways to turn them on.
What if you have one click of your parking brake on? What if you have one click of your parking
That
brake
might do
on?
it. I don't know, but
there are some models of vehicles that if it's dark out, like especially when the vehicle started going to the auto sensors, there are some that you absolutely cannot turn off. And the reason why I say that is because the interaction with guys at the boat ramp, usually those guys are getting freaking screamed at, right?
Well, you can't see it all. Once a guy has his headlights on like that, I just stop.
Right.
If a good flow's been going, once some guy has his headlights on, I'm blind. I'm not going to just keep backing down my $100,000 boat and hopefully I don't run anybody over.
hope for the best.
Yeah, just send her down the
Move
ramp.
her down.
So once that happens and I can't see it all, I just stop. So at that point, you stop the whole progress of the boat.
Right.
So
launching.
if there is a guy that has his headlights on and you know that his truck doesn't have its headlights on all the time, how you approach him is super important. If you go, hey, down,
That's what I'm
you know what I
getting
mean? You're gonna get a reaction gets a reaction. So if you just come up to him, calm, hey man, can you turn your headlights off? I can't see anything. Stop what you're doing and just be calm, and you'll get a much politer reaction from them.
I've seen
Yes,
it go.
that's
I've
right
seen
about the
people
parking
just
brake.
coming down the ramp off tilt on those headlights.
It's morning time. Everybody's
And then the
grumpy.
guy, poor
Yes.
guy, he's trying to launch his boat, and he's in the middle in the thick of it.
A lot of guys are saying if you
Turns-
tap that emergency brake one click, it'll shut the headlights off. Guys, multiple people are
And
saying
all
that.
the guys in the 90s Chevys push the little round light button 5 times and your lights turn off. If you don't know that, figure it out.
Okay, anyways, there's a lot of guys out there
You
who,
can turn them off.
from actually
We'll
being
test mine when we go out in the parking lot.
from being actually at the boat ramp a lot, Clint, and understanding and telling guys, hey, it might be a little better if you, but not going into it like, hey, you dumb son of a man, what are you doing? Turn off, going to, hey, maybe turn off your headlights. I don't know if you know this, but it really helps the flow of things. Like you said, coming at it at that even keel,
Yeah, not red hot.
not red hot, and understand. And the guy, and I've seen the guys turn around, hey, I can't turn them off. Like, there's no way for me to turn them off. And then you're like, oh, okay, we're all here. We're all gonna work through it. We're all gonna try to get in the water as fast as we can. Everyone needs to have that same mentality. And sometimes you just gotta go with it. But that level, don't approach somebody up here. Approach it right here. Unless you're Clint, who everything's up here, but it's totally unwarranted and he's no clue he's talking about half the time.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, this 96 Suburban, push the little round thing 5 times, your lights turn off.
Clint-
We're gonna learn all the tricks.
Clint, can you make some signs and put it up every boat ramp? If you have a 96
No,
Suburban,
I just run around and yell. At all
Can
the
you?
boat ramps.
can you? Please? So
I've dreamt of that actually, putting up
the
signs.
point is,
Like
it's
if
not,
someone says, have something to cover your lights if they won't turn off. Not a bad point.
okay, Wally, that's probably not the worst idea in the world. If you could quickly throw something up over just like a rag. I mean, just something to. I mean,
Hammer.
It's nerve-wracking in some of these boat ramps. Yeah, that'll work good.
oh man.
It can be nerve-wracking.
You know, it goes back to the thing we said on the podcast. Treat others like you want to be treated.
Right.
If no one's ever had headlights while they tried to back their trailer down, then they don't understand. So that's all I got to say. The guy with his headlights, someone should shine their headlights, and he will totally understand one time after that's done to
Right.
him.
The point of it was just using it as a good segue. Was like I said, that even keel, never go into that, because generally the guys that are going into any kind of etiquette situation that are up here, generally those are the guys that I find that are almost always in the wrong. They're always kind of like Clint. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, sorry,
you
I'm
guys.
emotional. The last trip out, Rob smashed my truck into the ramp, backing it down because the guy was blaring in his headlights and he couldn't see it.
Did you tell him, hey, click it 5 times, it'll turn off?
No, I was yelling at Rob because he hit my truck on the ramp.
Oh, just unplug them. Faith Sparkle. I love fishing. Yeah, me too. So I saw another. Can you scroll up just a slight bit there, Clint? There was a guy was saying, like, please answer this question. I missed it. But I thought I kind of caught it just as it was going off, but then someone said something funny.
Just say when.
Oh, keep going. There's no fishing etiquette when I fish, James. Then that's probably an adventure every day.
Well, there's another point.
I don't see it.
Okay. There's one last point. If you're down at the bottom and you're dumping your boat and you're stopped, turn your truck off. Like, turn it off completely so then someone else can do it while you're messing around doing everything else, and they will turn off your lights.
Yeah.
Okay. At that point, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's when they all turn off.
I even go as far as turning off my truck because I know it's loud, and like,
Yeah.
I'll turn my truck off at the bottom of the ramp just so people aren't getting dieseled out and can't hear what they're trying to do.
You also have the loudest truck. In
I didn't make it that
history
way.
Of Washington.
It is. I
didn't
know
make
when
it that
he's
way.
coming.
I did
Everybody
not make it
knows.
that way. I've actually quieted it down, but
But
I don't believe you.
that's true.
you guys
Swear.
take that extra second. Just think a little bit. Everybody.
Even keel. That was the whole point of that covers the headlights. I knew it set some people off and make people leave. But even keel. Let's talk about like some cardinal rules of fishing. Let's touch on one, and I'll let you guys cue it up. What cardinal rule of fishing anywhere in the Northwest? Steel hunting, boating, sledding, anything like that. What is it? What's a good one?
Stop and think what you'd want to be done to you before you do it to somebody else.
Okay.
Basically, if you're coming into
Do unto others.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Good luck
it.
with that.
Yeah.
Those are the guys like Clint rolling around.
Yeah. Give me a break. Lies.
Or say screw it all and send it.
You're not even sure. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Marlon. Yeah, do what others you want to do unto you. I was gonna say one good one to start with too, and I'm gonna break you off that one for a split second. You own the water that you fish, and nothing more, and nothing less, right?
Yeah.
Especially as we get into this time of year where we get a lot of boat and bank interaction in some of the small streams. I've seen lots of situations where I'll come down a river and a boat will be in a hole, but then a banky will come up to that hole. Like, what's that? How's that interaction usually act? Like, what usually happens there?
Depends what the mindset on the river is. If it's
The mindset of the banky. What's the interaction?
I've had guys walk down and are totally cool and hey, what's going on, man? And I might work the hole for another 5 minutes and just let them have it. It's fine. And I've had other guys tell me that they're going to start shooting at me if I don't move my boat right now. And I'd already been there half an hour and they just showed up. So you're going to get different scenarios, different rivers. But you just do the best you can to avoid, I guess, getting shot at.
Or lead thrown. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you own the water, you fish, but I have a real, like, I see and I hear about this interaction more.
That
like
kind of
this
goes
time of
away
year.
from a saying I said, because I always have told guys that are, when they fly off the handle and think they own the river, I said, well, I didn't see your sign here with your name on it.
Right. No, yeah, you own the water that you fish. And so, like, I've seen a lot of interactions where, like, a boat will be there or a bank will be there. And you need to have the same level of respect. Like, if you were a boat and you came down to the river and you saw a couple of guys bank fishing the hole, you need to at least communicate some sort of intent, if not let the hole go if it's a smaller river especially. There are those holes and those runs that guys will just automatically pull plugs through and stuff, and that's usually kind of like the interactions we're going to see more and more of over the next few months. And that's what I'm kind of talking about. So, when you have these guys, if I'm anchoring in a hole, I'm fishing a run, and guy comes down and sees a boat in there, and it's, oh, well, you can go do this or you can go do that. Well, so can they. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, how would you?
Just got to read the scenario. If it's going to turn into a big fiasco, I just assume if I'm in a boat, I'm just gonna send it on down. It's not really worth it to me. It's a lot of people when they get hard up on fish, they make bad decisions, and after a while, you're just like, okay, have it. You know, it's fine.
One thing I will say is the generation of that mentality of this is my spot, my river, that older crowd that's like our parents' age for all of us, they're kind of going away. There, you know, there's more of a younger crowd, and our generation are kind of taking over the riverbanks. And those guys that were very small-minded, I think, are, you know, passed away or retired. They're not in physical shape to be on those riverbanks anymore. And I actually feel like the banks have gotten less hostile, and the rivers have gotten a little bit less hostile because no one has that, I guess I call it old school mentality.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of younger anglers though. Definitely they get a taste of it, as we talked about in the podcast. You know, they're passionate about winter steelhead. And man, the second that they get on a program of fish, and if anything's gonna take them around, I mean, just off the handle.
Yeah.
After a while, you get enough fish under your belt. It's just not worth it to you to have a big sneak. Just move along. You'll find your own.
So in this scenario, I'm talking about a boat anchored on a bank angler spot. So would you take a boat and anchor it in front of where you know, like a hatchery run,
there's going to be
25 bank anglers at daylight? Would you do something like that though?
I wouldn't race to it and blow a whole bunch of other water up to get there. There's scenarios where there's some guys that have done that on certain rivers, and they get hated on for it. But I wouldn't do it, because I mean, you're not doing yourself a favor. Now, if you're there and no one's there, and someone comes down, just you fish out the run. You were there first. Send it on down. But as far as someone there and then just try to avoid the competitions, I guess.
Yeah. If you have, and I'm trying to like piece this into win and roam, right? If you're a new angler, and where I see a lot of these bad interactions occur is with guys that, like I said, have that mentality, think they're on the river, but at the same time, like, you need to understand where you're fishing. If you're fishing a hatchery run, and there's gonna be like 25 dudes sitting in the small river, like the last thing you're gonna do is like show up with your drift boat, anchor out in front of that run, knowing that in Rome, that's gonna be fished by like 25 bank anglers, and you're gonna be 5 feet off the bank fishing that run. Like, that's probably not gonna work. I've seen it too, but that's probably like not gonna work. So every area that you go can definitely be like almost always situational.
Yes, situational,
circumstantial. Never had a conflict fishing ever. It's those damn tweakers breaking in your rig that do it for me. Yes, real true. I see that. Yeah, don't pick on the old guys. Ryan says the old guys rule. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I drive for hours to go to a certain spot I've been dreaming about for a year, and you're there too, I'm fishing right next to you and passing some whiskey around. Well, Billy, that's probably the way to do it.
That's kind of what we talked about in the podcast. I've gone into stretches where I walked a mile in, and there's one guy there, and I'll just walk right up to him and, hey, bud, how's it going? How's fishing? And most of the time, I get a good conversation with him, and sometimes I don't even cast in the hole. We'll just talk for an hour, and there we go. But other times I've came in, and you just get a guy that's just not going to have it. So
you're not talking one of those crowded areas. So like I said, that situational difference, like, there's all these etiquette rules out there, and there's stuff like that. But every time you go fishing in any of these spots, it's almost always different, or there's always a different program, or there's always a different expectation of the boats, or an expectation of what the bankies are going to do.
Hatchery holes, get in where you fit in.
Get in where you can fit in versus hiking a mile and then not walking down the riverbank and fishing this far away from a guy sitting out in the middle. That'd be just awkward, wouldn't it?
It would be awkward.
It would be awkward.
But on all of it, you guys, everyone's got to step back a little bit. None of us want to be on top of each other. That's the reality. No hunter fisherman out there wants to be on top of each other. Opportunities are very limited, and everyone just needs to relax and just kind of step back a little bit before they start getting attitudes. And for me and everybody, I think, after the COVID shutdown in Washington State, isn't it good just to be out there? So the fact that, do you really want to ruin your day with a bad
No.
attitude for a steelhead?
No.
For a winter steelhead.
Easy. It's funny because I'm reading a lot of these guys' comments. Like, kind of scroll up just a little bit, just a second there, Clint, because like I'm reading like all these great like, I had a couple guys fight a fish in my area where myself and brother were fishing, and we stepped back and let them fight it, and they were cool and they walked up and check out their catch, right? Like, so fighting fish, like having that, you would hope somebody would let you do that if you had a fish on, right? So like good interaction there. People want to fish and hunt and solace. If you hike in a mile and find a guy fishing down, find your own spot. Ryan, I'd agree, but I also would not be expecting to like walk down to the hatchery and expect to ever be by myself either.
No.
So like that situational thing there. And then I saw another really good positive comment, but now I'm seeing some negative ones now. So an old guy in a boat was pissed and yelling because I wanted to anchor 100 yards from them. I was dumbfounded because there was literal hog lines just upriver. So Joshua, so let's talk about this little interaction there too. So you own the water you're fishing. So how much water do you own? How much water? What is an acceptable distance?
For me, it's 100 yards or even.
That's
30 yards below where I'm bait diving or something like that. It's hover fishing.
I disagree. If Casey's on his anchor spot and I drop in 100 yards below me, 16-ounce cannonballs are going to be flying at my boat. So that's a situational question, and he's lying.
And the situation is if you're in range or out of range.
Yeah, if you're in range. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're winter sturgeon,
what's 100 yards? That's
if you're hog lining in a shipping lane for fall fish, if you're anchored up on a small river for winter steel, that's completely different etiquettes and distances.
Yeah.
So I've been in situations where like I thought that I gave plenty of room, and then unbeknownst to me, the second I set up and started fishing, I was then told from a mile and a half upriver that I wasn't giving enough room.
You're never going to make everybody happy.
Do you own the whole, like if you're bank fishing at the top of a hole, do you own the whole hole? Like let's say the hole's a 300-yard, beautiful, freaking long, awesome tail out. Call it the Christmas tree hole, Marlon. Like if you're fishing in the top of that, do you own the bottom of that? I mean, no.
No, but I would be pretty annoyed if someone dropped in
You'd be annoyed.
I would for sure, because when you roll,
well, everyone's annoyed.
Like that,
everybody's annoyed.
When you roll into, what I'm saying is, if I rolled into that scenario, if someone was at the very top of that hole, I would roll the whole thing out and not fish.
Yeah, you'd let it pass.
100%.
What if
Because
you?
What about
they
if that
want
hole?
to fish the top of the run, but they also want to fish the very, very far tail
What
out
if that-
maybe 100 yards down.
What if that hole was on the river that Big Dave's Lodge is on?
Again, that's where it's just like Ryan said, it's situational.
What if it was the
That
last good
river,
hole
like
in the
a
river?
lot of those rivers, and that's where it gets hard, I think, for new anglers, just because a lot of rivers, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, remember when we went to the Olympic Peninsula,
Right.
we're fishing a river,
So-
and like, I'm accustomed to like, if you have a hole, the whole hole is yours. And we're like fishing this hole, and we're like sitting at the top of it, and this guy just drops in right below us and starts pulling plugs.
Right. So hold
And
on.
I'm like, what the hell's going on?
But here, I'm going to use that story, and maybe I should just do it now. So when we talk about those distances given, right?
Yep.
And I guess the best way to describe it is the story that Marlon saw. When we went to this river, and we were the new guys, and we thought we knew the etiquette, and it was crowded, good fishing, great fishing, very glacial river, visibility about 10 inches at best, 12 inches. And we fished the top half of the river. We hiked our boats into God knows where. Nobody up there caught fish. It was great. Got down to where the main ramps were, started fishing, and we'd be anchored off, fishing like behind a tree in a run. And a guy would literally go from me to you away, like in front of us, and he'd be like, give us the wave, nod like the courteous wave. And he thought,
and cast out?
No, he would just dump his bait divers and his plugs right there and just start rowing out. And he is literally.
And it happened multiple times.
And so we, fortunately, thank God,
Wow.
we were the guys that didn't know. So we were the guys like looking at each other like we were the guys.
You
that
get
were
his boat number?
Right. No, but then one guy did it. But then the next guy did it. And then we'd go down river, and then like some guys would float past us. Hey, what's going on, dudes? Like, how cool to see us, saying hi, and then just like right at the side of our boat and fish it. And then we're like, what the hell's going on? And then we actually have a saying that I can't repeat here because that was the mentality. But the visibility was so poor that it wasn't screwing up anybody's fishing, and we were the ones at fault. We were the ones getting worked up. Thank God we didn't like say anything. Yeah. And then like some guy catches one like right in front of us, and then we catch one like under some guy's boat, and then it was just kind of like, oh, we're in Rome. We're gonna do it the Romans. That's the program. That's the etiquette.
And I think what it was on this specific river, and what you see on a lot of rivers, like what you were talking about with Nick, there is so many boats packed into the river. It's like you just fish wherever you can fish. Yeah. Like, and people kind of understand that because there's enough fish. Yeah. There's so many fish that it doesn't matter.
There's a program.
Happy.
Yeah.
There's like an established program.
Exactly.
And since we were the new guys getting in there, we were the ones that were like, what? Yeah,
we didn't say anything to anyone.
Thank heavens.
We were like pretty fired up.
Until we like kind of caught on, and then it was like, yeah, and then we.
Well, I noticed the difference between the Oregon coast and the Washington coast is Washington coast people stay moving. Oregon coast people anchor up in holes like it's like how we fall fish, and they're just sitting and camping. And where a lot of our Washington rivers, you're covering 12 miles of river. If you sit in a hole like that, it's going to be pitch black by the time you get to the fifth spot. Yeah. So it's really
now sometimes those
everywhere rivers, you go is a different thing. Like you were saying, what's the distance? There is none. If you're on a hog line, say we're hog line next to each other, Cam Limit's out right next to me. Now I got a gap, and the fish are coming through. Well, I'm going to want somebody to anchor right off the next side of me to create that wall.
Yeah, the one you have selected, Clint. The one you're
so
for the next one. Yeah. No, it's tough, and I think going back,
and you can't expect people to know the fisheries with all the new outdoorsmen.
But kind of to round it out, give them an idea of what you would do etiquette wise.
Right. So depending on the river, like the guy that. So this comment right here, fished above an old guy. It took me 20 minutes to work my way to within 20 feet of him, and he didn't move the whole time. Walked past him maybe 60 feet to continue my run, and he started yelling like crazy. So basically, I'm getting this guy's fishing this run, doing his thing. Guy worked down to him. I'm assuming they're on the bank. Went around him, gave space, and continued on.
I'm all day long. I'm going to say no. Don't do that.
Yeah,
right.
I just don't low hole someone.
Don't. So Marlon's a no low hole.
When you go onto a hole, if you see a hole, right. You're like, there's the top, and you can know you're a steelhead fisherman. You know what the hole looks like.
Yep. Right.
Leave the hole. The guy already has it. There's probably 30 other holes.
That's always the safest. But what if it's that river that Dave's on, where you're never going to go to a spot or a run where you're not going to see people in it?
That's the river I was talking about.
That's not true, though. You do. I mean, we float that river a million times and don't. You have holes to yourself.
There's also lots of holes that have like 5 dudes anchored up in one run.
There's so many variables there.
Hey, yeah. When it comes, hey, you guys. Honestly, when it comes down to, don't low hole. I agree with what Marlon says.
Right.
At the end of the day, low hole somebody's never gonna. It never usually works out good.
Did we miss a super chat, Clint? You're looking at your phone, not
and the issue is, you got 5 rivers in 2 states that are decent hatchery steelhead production for people to go out and hook fish. So at the end of the day, don't get upset about any of it and give people space and just go fishing.
Oh, a $50 super chat from Kevin. Happy holidays, all you addicts. Thank you so much, Kevin Heiser. We appreciate it.
Kevin, thanks for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so Marlon says, no, don't fish the hole. How's that going to work at Blue Creek? Just curious.
If you go to Blue Creek and there's places.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
If anyone goes to a terminal fishery and expects your bobber not to be dodging other bobbers and spoons flying by,
what about
it's situational.
It is.
It's situational, but in this particular thing, it sounded like the guy was in the hole by himself. Yeah. You fished down below him and then proceeded 60 feet below to fish below him. No, that's not.
What if that was the hatchery right next to my house?
Then it's okay. I'd say it's okay.
Well, you can't even get 60 feet.
The upper bank is 200 yards long.
200 yard line. Yeah,
it's 200 yard long stretch. But there's always a lot of guys in there anyway. So at that point, if that guy thought he'd have 60 feet to himself, there's Raymond.
Again, it's situational.
Very.
You gotta really like.
That's the point I'm trying to put across. And I'm trying to put across not being the guy that's always yelling. But then again, too, if that guy worked down to the guy that was in the bank and didn't communicate with him,
That's a big
communication.
communication.
Right.
That's
Hey,
that's all
man,
of
you
it
mind
right
if I
there.
work my way down? And the guy's like, oh, I'm kind of planning on doing that. I'm out.
Peace
Like,
out.
I'll go find that other spot. And so maybe some communication there could have alleviated that situation. Now, we've had a spot. I'll tell this other story because you're going to run into these type of people. We had a spot where we walked up on a hole that was a run, pink face, where he was fishing at the top, way at the top, 100 yards top. Come down below him, 100 yards. 100 yards?
At least.
Whap, whap, hook 2 fish. Guy starts yelling, screaming. Comes down to us. Starts yelling, screaming. I'm fishing. Okay, fine, man. You have it. Let him have it. Walk up.
What above him?
Whap, whap. We got yelled at going up. Like, how's that work?
It's
What do you
this
do
whole
there?
thing is walking on
So
broken
see, in
glass,
that
isn't it?
scenario, like where we were at,
Yeah.
to me there was 2 or 3 different holes.
There's
right there.
buckets there for sure.
Where he was at was one hole.
Totally
Yeah.
separate pieces of water.
Yeah, it was different. It was different water. That guy just was one of those rare occasions, and I will say rare because I really do think it is, where it didn't matter. That guy he was never going to be.
You're
happy.
never going to win.
North
He was
County
always going to
mentality.
be pissed off.
Yep, never going to win. Victoria, combat fishing is when you have a lot of people in one area very tightly fishing, and generally that occurs in very good spots or hatchery runs or concentrations of fish. So when you see pictures where guys are standing this far away, shoulder to shoulder, or boats packed in, that's combat fishing. Yeah.
Stay away.
Guns are getting shot off.
And the thing about combat fishing, especially, is communicate and then don't get into those situations and try to run a different program. Nobody would walk down to a place where there was 25 guys bobber fishing beads in the hatchery and then throw plunking rods right in the middle of them and just stand there and look at each other like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I saw an addictive video that talked about plunking, and now I know how to do it.
What's funny, Cameron, is
Still
I've
happens.
never fished one of those terminal hatchery spots for steelhead in my life. Never once.
Oh, really?
I can name all of them I've been to watch
really?
the party.
You've never done one?
Not stood there on the bank and did
No, I was
the.
going to say, I'm like, because you fish the crack pipe like 60 days a year.
But I didn't
I don't
stand
know
on the
if
bank
that-
and fish the crack pipe.
You're right. You ran out in your sled.
But I mean, I watched those places when I was a kid, and that's the first memories of fishing. I watched people fighting at Barrier Dam on the Cowlitz, and remember running back to the car and hiding because I didn't want to see this as a little kid. So right out of the gate, when I started fishing in my life, I already knew that I didn't want to fish at hatcheries because it's where attitudes were bad.
But sometimes, though, like, and I'll just say this, there was a creek that I have loathed the idea of fishing for years. Like, I never went and did it. And I went and did it last Thursday. And guess what? Like, we went up there and there was a lot of people, but they were all super cool. It was a party atmosphere. Guys were getting fish. We got fish. Like, it
That's
actually
what
was.
You need fish.
It was like a lot of fun.
Now, if you put all those people there without the fish,
Oh, then no, they won't be there. Yeah,
or
no,
say
yeah,
5
yeah,
fish spread out between all those people.
Yeah. Kyle deals
Must-
the whole
I don't
Kim
think
and
that
George
was a
any day of
state
the
managed
week.
river.
Go ahead, Kyle. Canned beads or worms. The rules are always going to be a little different for you when you are in the Northwest area. Smile and ask him. Yeah, because Michael, I will say too, like, what we perceive as okay in the Northwest, like, when you go back and look at some of the Midwest stuff, those guys better learn to get along quick or else they're going to have a really rough time. I mean, I see riverbanks of 200 dudes standing on something that's a creek no wider than this damn desk.
Well, if that's what they got, they better figure it out.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's either that or don't fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish.
Yeah. Scroll up real quick there, Clint, if you would. I thought, yeah, communication is key. No, not that one. And Real True Northwest, that wasn't it either. I'll leave. Yeah, fishing the odds. I always went with the mentality it's literally a fish. People are arguing over a fish not worth fighting. Yeah, dude, I have the same way, which is why I've only gone steelhead fishing once even so far this season because I just don't. It's a fish. It's fun. We're all out there to be happy, but there's a lot of people that are not happy to be out there to do it, which I don't know why.
Got to eat some elk down to make room for a fish, right, Cam?
That's right. Well, I just don't keep any winter steelhead, so I don't really care. Keep going up. There was like a lot of you guys. There was a lot of really good ones that we're getting in the conversation. I kind of want to. Tangles have like keep going up. Be considered, even if you think you own that run. That old dude was also trying to monopolize the whole. Oh, okay, yeah, Jim. He's referring to that other comment that we threw up there. I just wear a shirt that says, "Hi, my name is Cameron." Perfect, dude. You should buy one of these gone catching sweatshirts. There you go. That could be dangerous.
See the name on that?
Oh man, that's good. Maybe they were above this here. The old dude is camped. You clear him by a good distance and keep fishing. Just because he doesn't want to work the entire run doesn't mean everything below him is. Says Brian Norton. Crowded river, I'm fishing. One of the rivers I'm floating, I'll just float to the next hole. Yeah. Low hole Clint. Always.
There's hundreds of those.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Any given time. But he doesn't fish. It doesn't really matter. He wants to see him out there.
I don't know. You know, this whole thing, Cameron, when you asked me to talk about it, was I figured everyone would want to talk about small rivers, winter steelhead. And at the end of the day, etiquette to me is the same if I'm out mule deer hunting in sagebrush or I'm steelhead fishing on a coastal stream. Etiquette's etiquette at the end of the day. And I mean, that's the truth of it. So
thinking about what you'd want to have done.
If guys are going to go out there and do stuff to another person, they're going to do it everywhere they go, regardless. And that is why I keep saying people just need to step back and treat others like they want to be treated on the water, and everything will go a little bit smoother.
Answer that one, Ryan. I don't really know.
How do you get the smaller waders after night of drinking?
How do you
Tacos.
feel? Oh, wondering
drink
how you
beer.
feel about fly fishing steelhead versus spinning. I'm imagining spinning gear. Tiring the steelhead out and fly fishing on the lighter rod, and it's a wild hurts the fish. Ryan, actually, I know Fish and Game did a study and figured out that the steelhead are fought 38% longer on average than conventional gear, therefore increasing the mortality rate. So a lot of times when we see these interactions where fly fishing gear tends to maybe be better for the fish. Granted, they probably don't hook as many, but the notion that it's actually better for the fish is actually false, 100%. So yeah, definitely quite an interesting fact. So at the end of the day, we're all sport fishermen, and the mortality rates that are applied to us from the state are completely wrong and completely blown up. We will have a lot of discussion about that here in the real near future. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. For sure.
What about boat-to-boat interactions? Because for me, coming across like sleds against drift boats has been the most common
Sleds
theme.
versus drift boats. If I'm on my sled, I just let it rip. I don't get rip.
Just send it through.
Yeah, whatever.
I'd say out of all the times I've ever had confrontations, it was
Oh,
that
and here's
scenario.
the comment. Running sleds on coastal streams that are allowed, but are mainly drift boat rivers. Where did I see the classification, John, that it said drift boat only? Well, probably with no motors above a certain bridge or bridges. So there probably is some of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, certain rivers that you say are drift boat only, but when the flows are up, I would say they're sled rivers at that point. When the flows are way down, obviously sleds probably don't need to belong up in the higher reaches where they're tearing up gravel and running over ground and stuff. Again, situational program.
Select the one above it. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I deal with interactions in the fall with our sled, and then we'll see, drift boats coming down the river or going up the river. Well, the sled's going up the river, drift boats going down the river. Is that how it works? Anyways, I see the guys.
Usually, yes. Yeah.
I see drift boats doing it, and I think that there has to be a level of understanding between the two, because I've seen. So one of our buddies, and awesome too. Sorry, it was Keith Hyde. And glad to hear your surgery went well, dude. Looking forward to your recovery and seeing you out there. But he was anchored in a spot. I was coming upriver and real shallow water. He was anchored in it, and it was tight. And I was running upriver, and I stopped, and he was anchored in the one spot I could go through, and he waved me forward. I'm like,
yeah, I'm gonna be right next to you, bud.
Okay, here we go. And I ran up past, and I ran forward past him, and we texted you a little later, like, that was really close. It's like, yeah, that was the only place I can run. Like, understanding that sleds can only run certain spots is pretty instrumental. Where when you have drift boats that are trying to pick spots that they're going to anchor, they're going to fish, or they're going to run plugs. Now, if he was off anchor and running plugs, I would have probably just sat and waited, because that spot was really, really tight, triple, super tight.
But listen, generally speaking, for you, Cameron, you're not going to run over unless
Try not to.
you can't. You have to, because you're going to crash your boat, or the guy waves you around.
Because this year I was going up to the run to go quitching, and I slowed down for every boat going upriver, like every damn boat, and it was crowded. I launched below, and I get to the meat hole. I'll just say meat hole. I get to the meat hole, and I'm slowing down for boats, and I'm going up to this one bank, and Jerry just comes through at about Mach 85. Wow! Waves at me and drives by, and I'm like, you son of a... I'm like, I took all the time in the world to go slow by every damn boat and got beat. And of course, what's he do? Like, by the time he blows, like, first twitch, bing, gets one. It's like...
There's some scenarios like in high water on a tributary where it's mostly sleds. If it's too heavy, I would rather have people than try to go by me on. So I know that they're making the effort to be polite and everything, but the guys that will go by you slow in heavy water will push that much more of a wake on than a guy that's just sending it through the spot, getting by and putting off, going slow by people when the water's really high.
Yeah, and in this situation, the water was like, I could idle and not put off this big, like, I'm going to go surfing on it wake.
You're still making ground.
Right. Yeah. And then sometimes, but sometimes that interaction of the small boats on the coastal streams, like, I don't think some of those guys realize, like, what you're trying to do when you're trying to just zip by somebody either. So then all of a sudden, we're the jerks. Or the sled's the guy in the wrong. Oh, what's everything? Everyone's saying
They're saying it's lagging and slowing down.
I've been on it from the time we started.
Well,
Clint needs to stop streaming gardening videos.
It's everything.
Is that a comment?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is that what you're doing?
Can repeat the last minute. Guys, are we good? It's a topic that we need to talk about, and it's what we're talking about tonight. So if you have any input, we'd love to hear it. Just trying to. So is it working now? Are we good? Guys slow down to pass the kayak and make huge waves. I wave and then
Point their kayaks into the wake.
Yeah. He's saying they're slowing down and throwing it bigger, which is 100% true.
Yeah. I love when guys slow down right before the boat, and then right as they're going by you, and then just right when they get by you, they go back on step, so they destroyed you the whole time.
Don't ruin Christmas, Clint. You better fix it. This one's not on our end, guys. We are showing all systems go here. So, and Marlon is watching it actually. I wonder if it's a Facebook thing or nope. It's a YouTube. It's a YouTube thing.
I like that, Dan Wiseman. It's all clients' fault.
It's absolutely. Yeah.
I hope is that Clint or clients, but it says clients where I can read it.
Yeah, it's clients.
Scenario: in drift boat fishing a hole and see someone come around the bend in another boat. Is it okay to pull your anchor and beat them to the next hole, or stay put and let them pass first water? Cody, I've been
That's
waiting
the
for
best
that.
question there is.
So,
all night.
Yep. Well, I want to make sure we're letting everything kind of see. People are saying that it's good. I think it's YouTube. It's good here.
It's good now.
No,
It's messed
everybody
up.
Clint, everybody on Facebook saying good, and then everyone on YouTube saying messed up.
watching it on YouTube, and it's perfect. I don't see any issues. So.
Better now on YouTube, says Hiding Buffalo. Okay. I'm on YouTube and it's fine. Good here.
It's
Okay.
people's fault.
I think there must be some connection issues.
But
Keep
it
in
was
mind.
a lot all at the same time. That's
Right, and then
Super
I know
stormy
there
out?
was a lot. There was too many of them.
that was a lot.
But the other thing too, guys, like keep in mind, like 3 weeks ago, like we didn't even have internet here or any part of this county. So, yeah. So, drift boat moving down, goes into a run. There's a boat below him. And the second that boat sees him,
Gone.
you see the. This is the reaction you see every time. You'll see him turn around, look, and then it's usually a quick like. All of a sudden, set the rods down real slow.
Try not to panic.
Pull the anchor quick and then pretend never look back.
Yeah.
Never look back
Yeah.
and row down. I got a story.
8
and
times out of 10 that happens.
so first off, it is, yes, I would say that person has every right to move their anchor.
Yeah.
However, I mean, just a few weeks ago, we were floating.
Yeah.
And ran into a boat, and he popped his anchor. That we came around the corner.
And we're like, oh,
And
God.
we see him around the corner. Same thing. The quick over the shoulder. Oh, put the rod down.
Yeah.
Pick the anchor up. Pushes down next corner. We stop in that hole.
We fleeced them all the way down.
Well, hold on. We caught a couple in that one. And then I told the guys, I go, all right, if this dude's gonna do this,
Yeah.
I know where there's like 400 koa right now, and I'm gonna make damn sure he doesn't fish that hole. So we bump down to the next
Game
one,
chess.
and instead of and then when we bump down the next one, he picks up again. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this perfect. Like I'm gonna just push him down past this one spot, and so we push him down past the next spot, and we anchor up on it. And we sat there for 3 hours, 2.5 hours in that stretch,
Yep.
and just waylaid him.
Yep.
And because the guy could not stand being passed by another boat. So in situations where, if you have runs you want to fish and you have the guy that wants to kind of keep doing that, it's very advantageous of you to push them down out of the run that you want and then just go back and hang up in it. Especially if guys do that. So I don't necessarily recommend doing that. He's saying it's bull if they see you. Okay, Wally, I think that happens a lot, and I don't think there's any reason why. There's not like a cardinal rule where if you see someone coming down the river, because you don't know if that guy's going to hang up in the top of that run. You don't know what his intentions are. So I don't think that there's no rule there, but it also can definitely be at a disadvantage to him. And so if you have those guys that like to do that, it's also really easy to push them around. So I don't really care.
No.
I mean, we sat there for 3 hours and caught fish like crazy.
Fish
Up
don't
and down
always
that
hang out where people think they are. And, if you have the opportunity to kind of pick them out of spots that they didn't fish,
Right.
It's not always a bad thing to have somebody move down.
I know one thing on winter steelhead rivers and super crowded and stuff. Sometimes I'll go down and fish everything I see people not fishing in spots of water where the fish would never sit. But especially on weekends where you got so many boats pounding those fishy looking spots and the good looking water, that I don't know how many times I've went through sections of river and just picked them off everywhere behind the drift boats
Right.
and behind people.
Right. Well, like Anthony said, I don't mind fishing a hole after someone else. If I see what they're doing, I'll do something else.
Yep.
All day long, baby. All day long. Yep. No question. There's a few guys that I definitely don't want to fish behind.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, let's be honest. We make our living catching fish that people miss, right? I think everybody does. I don't fish areas where fish spawn in the main river fishing. Well, then you must not swing flies. Sorry. If you low hole a fly fisherman, at least keep moving because we are, says Brad Smith. True. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Anglers need to make a pledge to clean up the riverbanks in 2022. There's so much trash everywhere. Yeah, Billy. We can touch on that for sure. Yeah. Clean up your shit.
There's a group, river cleanup. There's a group that goes around all over the place and does that. You can get involved in that.
I'm not saying fishermen are all the problem, but they are definitely a part of it.
It depends on the time of year. It's a hatchery snagging zone. You're going to see a lot more crap
Yeah.
laying around than you will, say, another river that's going on at.
I remember one point in time we were thinking about like sponsoring like addicted garbage bags and like putting them at the hatchery holes, and then we're just like, cool. Then when people just throw their crap,
Be floating all
there,
around
just
the
be
roads.
fully
And
addicted. It's like, yeah, I don't know really what to do there. I don't really know what to do there.
Time
Love,
to give
love the
away.
video guys. You're all good. I love fishing blind fly guys too. Holes named after guys in fishing spot. Oh, I missed that one. All right, let's do another giveaway. But what's a good question for a giveaway? How many of you guys are going to one of our 3 premieres for the movies? We've got our first one at the Kickins Theater on January 20th for Addicted Alaska 3. And then we've got one in Puyallup at the Puyallup Sportsman Show that Friday. I think it's February 4th.
Yep.
And then we've also got one on February 20th?
February
17th. That was off. February 17th at the Portland Sportsman Show. Answer yes or no. And be honest if you know. We understand if you guys are out of town. And let's just get a gauge to see who's going to be coming down to the premieres, to the parties. Because we got 3 of them on the schedule. I will in Puyallup, February 4th.
Yeah, there's been a lot
Holy
of people
crap.
buying Puyallup tickets.
I'm going to Puyallup. Nice. Trying to go to Portland. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of yeses. See you in Puyallup. Lots of no's. I understand if you're in Michigan. I get it.
No, I think they're talking.
I'm trying to make Portland. Eric, if you're trying to make Portland, if they don't sell out before you buy tickets, well, you can buy tickets right now at addicted.fishing. And I think, where are they at? I mean,
There's quite a few left.
There's
Puyallup and Portland.
Puyallup
has
and Portland.
Quite a few seats left.
how many people are fit? I mean, it's like 400, 500?
That's the thing. There's
Yeah,
500.
so there's a lot of room in
There's
these.
500 seats in Portland and 300 or 400.
How much stuff are you going to give away?
A lot.
For 500 people?
We have Kong coolers. We got all sorts of stuff. Fishing trips.
How many does Kickins hold?
360, 380,
340.
340. Ah, I'm off on everything today. I'm always off. That's all right. I want Cam's boat for a giveaway. If somebody super chats 80 grand right now,
It's all yours.
I will
Do
give
you
my
not
vote.
want them to super chat 80 grand because they're going to take.
If someone
35.
Well, that's true.
personally
Chats,
mails
yeah,
me
chat.
80 grand in cash,
Yeah.
I will give away my boat tomorrow.
I think
And
106.
Actually, make it
107
actually needs to be 100 because then I
Yeah.
need 20 grand for my bass boat. So that'd be really good too. What's the date at the Portland show? It is.
Yeah, they're going to
February
have to
17th.
super chat 108,000. That'll cover your fees.
So Marlon did the math. There's 108,000 super chat. We'll give away my boat.
So
One of these days, that's gonna
Could
happen.
you imagine? Ding! Mr. Beast pops in.
Oh yeah.
I'll
River
just
Ready.
read
That's
these things.
River Ready. That's probably not gonna work.
It makes 5 million.
Yeah.
10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
I bought Cameron's boat.
I didn't-
all their business.
Can you scroll up and get that big comment? That sounded like a situation. We're gonna pick a winner in a second. Keep commenting. If you're in the reality bowing down to legend, yeah, sure. But if you knew the answer to your question, then why ask it? And yes, I'd hope you would share a run with these guys with their name on it. Even if that person has their name on the spot, it's everybody's river rat. Oh, you must, Tyler. I'm guessing you're having a conversation with somebody else in the chat because I don't even know where to go with that. Working on Puyallup tickets, addicted.fishing. You guys should give away a pair of waders for giving away our other prize packs. Maybe one day we will. I got a pair I'll give away.
I was
got
gonna
some
say,
Sims G3s I'll give away.
Your Sims are nasty.
Well, I was
Just
gonna
give
say,
those
like,
things
you don't
away,
want 'em.
seasoned.
You don't want them. I had to buy new ones. They were bad. At least let me borrow it. Come on. You can take a ride in it. Even though I can't go, I wish it all success. Well, thank you, Alexander. Cool. A lot of guys going. Really neat. Waiting on my Kings merch, though.
Yep. It's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while. But I'm sure we'll have it within 3 weeks. Can't be worse than Pawpaw's waders.
Yeah, everyone will get their Alaska
That's true.
merch.
He has more time.
That you'll get your tickets and your merch in the mail well before the premieres.
Yeah. I'd hang out with Clint for a day. Well, Thunder, you were the only one. Oh, I can't wait for the Dick Last Dude. What kind of stuff are you guys gonna raffle? Dude, Hawk Nation, like these things are parties. I don't know if you've been to the premieres before, but It's a lot of stuff and a lot of good support from a lot of partners that are going to be there too, hanging out, shaking hands, chatting it up. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I don't really know.
Lots of stuff.
I mean, lots. That's all we can say. There's no way to quantify it right now. Do we get physical tickets in the mail?
Yes.
Physical tickets will arrive in the mail, Freedom.
Yes.
You guys need to open up a local shop so I don't have to pay fishing. Sure, come down and rent it. All right, let's pick a winner. Scroll it up, Clint. And then let's talk about some like big water stuff. Trolling.
I thought about something earlier today that
That guy says he's coming down from BC. That's
Who's coming down from BC?
I just saw a comment. Yes, coming down from BC. Right there.
Oh, awesome, Jeremiah. Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
And the comments were going through so fast, you only can catch so many of them.
Kiggins is not hard to find if you punch it into GPS.
No.
Google.
I wish I was going to go. It says Joshua, Eugene, Oregon. Nice. Congratulations, dude. You won the second prize pack. All nicely packaged in one of our Bonkamal fillet bags, which are available on addicted.fishing. But you can also need to email us at orders@addicted.fishing and then tell us what you want. Tell us you want a prize pack and a Bonkamal bag, and we'll know exactly what it is. Where's Jordan? Jordan was fishing and filming today up north. He will be back. Never. He'll probably just fish every day now, knowing Jordan.
Caught a giant.
He caught a giant on film. So more to come, as always, on the YouTube channel. Plural. Okay, what'd you think about? What did Casey Kelly think about here?
I know something you need to talk about.
Oh.
Big time.
Okay,
Big time.
we got two, and we still have another prize pack, guys. We got two. Go.
Wild steelhead.
All right, let's talk about Casey
Handling?
Kelly's things first.
Wait, what?
What was it?
Big River. Just there's lots of things to know, but common sense. That's one of the main things.
Is it common sense? Is it a lot? Is common sense running a line 300 yards out in the Columbia River, and then when I tangle it with my boat, is it my fault?
That's a touchy one.
What do you mean? What's the number one thing I've heard everyone in this room complain fall fishing about the last couple of years?
Casey Lowell.
Nope. When they shut the deadline down, what happens?
Huh? When they shut.
Oh, people gonna be on the.
When you have 1,000 boats trolling and there's these 5 that pull in there and decide they're gonna throw a wobbler out.
Oh.
There's a lot more
Oh.
of that. The last couple of years, it seems like there's been more than 5. I swear his post that he made on Addicted just made it worse.
I think it got a little
No,
better this year.
no,
I
no.
think
It
it got a
was
little
way better this year.
Yeah.
Way better.
Way better.
I don't know. And if you.
Wait.
No,
Well, maybe
no,
not
no,
on
no,
Saturday.
No. You guys.
Definitely not on the
Sunday.
weekends.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of the habitual guys that were messing it up. I think you had a bunch of new guys in there, but that kind of goes back to the whole like when in Rome. And what we're talking about, guys, is a certain section on the Columbia River that trollers do very, very well on this inside bend of the turn. Problem is, you can have 60 guys trolling this inside bend of the turn.
Let's bump those numbers up.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You
250.
can have 100 guys anchor inside bend of the turn, or you can have 3 guys fishing. And the general reason why the anchor guys do it is because they see the 100 troller guys
Catching
absolutely
fish.
stack them. It has to do with the presentation. And I'm not saying the anchor guys don't get in there, but there is no freaking way the anchor guys get in there as good as the trollers do. But they see fish caught and they anchor there, and they're not doing what the Romans are doing in Rome, right? So there's a lot of
But I wouldn't even say it's the fish. If 3 boats take it to where 100, use simple numbers, 3 and 100, if it makes it to where the 100 guys can't go out and enjoy their day and not catch fish too with the 3 guys that are sitting on anchor.
because not only are the guys because like I said, the guys aren't catching fish because the same 2 guys will be in the boat at 6 a.m. and they're still there at 2 when I'm on my second trip.
Yeah,
Like
that's it too.
they're still there, and so like it's not like a
Well,
real
I can even
effective
better that.
way.
What about when it's incoming? There's no current pulling and their boat is completely backwards.
Yep.
Not
Then-
even
then
back,
you gotta-
it's sideways.
Going upstream.
Sideways. Yeah. Anchor guys have the right of way. Kevin, wrong. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. And it's just because, going back to what we're talking about, not only are you not catching fish, but then you're impeding the 100 boats of their fish catching. Like, you are now having an effect on their ability.
Well, the problem is they get 1 or 2 all day long, and so that's
what it is.
Their jam.
But
now.
I don't know how they could how someone self-consciously could sit there and just know that every boat that's trolling by, and the trollers are rod tip to rod tip, tangling, and it's just nasty. And knowing that they're getting holes drilled into the back of their head by everyone's glare for hours and hours on day. That is not enjoyable.
Sunglasses, don't make eye contact.
They don't seem to care.
Yeah,
they don't.
So it's and it's a touchy subject because, like I said, do they have the right to fish there?
Yes.
Yeah. And technically, rules of the road when it comes to Coast Guard rules of the road, he's right. Guy on anchor has the right of way.
He's not anchored in the channel, so the guy on anchor does not have the right of way according to the rules of the road if you're anchored in the channel at all. Go ahead and blame that. Go ahead. Every ram coming down the river is going to blow a guy off anchor, no problem. So it doesn't really have to do with that.
When it comes to you're in motion and they're holding, he definitely has the right of way. He has he's not under power. He has no way to maneuver.
Right.
But is it right? No.
Right. It's not. Yeah.
Does he have it? Possibly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's just going to not make friends, and you're really just taking away.
Well, that's what he said. Unless you're not wanting to make friends.
Yeah.
I've had clients on the boat that I've known for years and years and years, and I could say something to these guys to the effect that be really polite, be really nice, like, hey guys, I'm not sure if you know this, but there's going to be 300 boats trolling through here, and you're not going to make very many friends sitting here. And I've never had a positive reaction come back to me, no matter how nice I was to them.
Yeah.
It's, oh, you don't know the river. Okay, bud.
You're right.
And
we don't. Nobody owns it.
We don't. You're true. But it's such a touchy.
As a guide, you got to keep your mouth shut because you can be like, "Hey, the tide's not going to pull for 3 more hours." Next thing you know, he's cussing you and everything, and all you did is inform somebody.
And then guys are hooking his anchor line, and then he's getting mad at the trollers, but the line is freaking God knows where. You're not tight to your anchor. You don't know. And then also too, like, anchor spots that are really effective have some kind of like funneling a feature that moves fish through a spot where your gear's at, not this open flat inside bend plane where there's not much current, because that's why those fish are there, and that's why they're so effectively trolled up, and that's why the fish are there, is because they're swimming up that bank because there's no current in respect to the outside when the tide's flowing. And so it's kind of like this weird, like, it doesn't really make that much sense to anchor there, but the fish are moving there, but they're never, how many fish do you catch on the bottom there? Like, they're not.
We don't have the current.
They're not, there's nothing there. There's no feature, whether it be current, a hump, a bank, something that's moving. So it's not really like a spot that I would prefer. Cam, your Brad's killer fish was on fire on the Sac River in California.
Sac River. Awesome to hear.
I think what it is people see these guys, they see all the fish getting caught there, and they only know how to anchor fish, so they drop their anchor and they go fishing.
But when in Rome, but you're kind of breaking the whole when in Rome, do as the Romans thing. So
I'll just say it, don't be that guy.
But then they're gonna argue
that they can do it.
That they were there first, they dropped their anchor. There's always gonna be those arguments that we're
right.
But all of us understand, and everybody watching, none of these issues happen until they cram everybody into one little spot.
That is true, yeah, because
no issues whatsoever. No one complains. Anchor guys are happy. Everyone's enjoying catch and fall Chinook and coho until they cram everybody into 2 little spots. So I really try to not, even if I get in a confrontation with someone, at the end of the day, that's what I think about. That guy doesn't want to be here. He'd rather be down at his other spot where he's fished for the last 20 years. He's out of his norm. So
But in that area, there are some spots where they can anchor, and it doesn't matter because I don't want to troll there. But when they're right where everyone's doing the turn and stuff too, like, that's the issue. But some of those guys, we can play nice together where they're at, because I don't want to troll there. You know what I mean?
Kyle, yes.
that particular spot, they kind of just stagger around. There's no actual hog lining, so there's more just sporadicness to it.
As guys, is it often to get into arguments with other guides, other fishermen, or maybe even clients for your adventures?
No, not for me.
No, I try every. amount possible to avoid that situation. So, I mean, it's happened. I mean, the last time I got him, it was one of these anchor guys 2 years ago. He's sitting there by himself, and I went by, and he goes, "Hey, Cam, how deep you fishing?" And I just kind of looked at him, and I didn't say anything, but I gave him the look like, "You're really asking me this right now when you're corking like 80 boats. I don't want to be the guy talking to you because they're all going to think you're my buddy. They're going to hate my ass." And so I go by him, and I just kind of give him like this is, are you joking like right now? Like, where do I tell you guys these fall Chinook rattle? Anyways.
But it has gotten better because more guys have started
So,
the troll, honestly.
Right. Well, there are some guys that are there. Anyway, so, but then I go by him, and then it's like, "Oh, you're just like the rest of them." He's like, "I'm unfollowing you." And I'm like, "Hey, I didn't say anything." "Oh, you've got to be all secretive." And I'm like, "No, dude, like, you're pissing off 100 boats here." Like, sorry, I don't want to necessarily, like, tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
I know.
Or embarrassing you in front of my people.
Yeah, and then we hooked like 5 fish next week. Anyways. Yeah, so pretty tough.
Another thing on etiquette, maybe a lot of people don't know. If a boat's around you and has a hot fish, clear your rods, people. Do you want your fish ran into someone else's line and breaking you off?
Yeah.
Anybody out there, when they hook a fish, you want to land it. So be respectful of the people around you and just clear your rods.
We're telling
Soon as
the
the fish-
other boat where that fish is at. Hey, it's
Communication. But honestly, nobody wants to get their fish wrapped up in someone else's gear.
Whether you're on the bank, whether you're steelheading, hatchery hole, plunking somewhere, in that, like, everybody when the bite's on, everybody wants to keep their lines in the water. Like, whether you're trolling, whether you're doing anything. But I don't care what you do. If you get that fish in your line, you will spend an exponentially more amount of time out of the water unscrewing that gear up than if you reel in and clear and redeploy.
And it happens. It happens.
All the
no
time.
matter what, it's still
It's
can
so
happen.
tempting to do it, but man, I think I only tangled like.
I had it happen twice last year.
I had it
Reeled my
happen a
rods
couple,
up.
3
Like,
times.
you guys
Yeah,
got the
sometimes
fish
you
on
do-
and I'm like, everyone reel up, and I was too late.
Sometimes you do
Too
everything
late.
you can do, and you're still going to get it, and it happens. Like I said, I was just going to say, I think I had it happen twice this year.
And keeping your cool.
And
Right.
the
As it
thing
happens.
we have to remember is you guys got to understand a lot of these guys just don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So
They
keep
really
your cool.
Don't. Like, if you just tell them nicely instead of freaking out on them, like, there's a lot of guys that just don't know.
So
Well, I had
freaks out
an
and
incident
everybody.
this year, and everybody's yelling at this boat.
Oh yeah.
He's telling me we got plenty of room, and I'm like, hey, it's a big fish. This gentleman says we got plenty of room, and honestly, I had a whole boatload of clients, so I just kind of turned my head. We ended up tightening the drag down, landing this fish, and it kind of showed the support and love of the Addicted fans when I just looked up and I looked around, and every boat surrounding this boat was like, hey, dude, you got a problem? Ryan, you want us to take care of this for you? And I'm like, honestly, you guys, we're good.
This guy was totally at fault, and also completely out of line. Like, completely out of line. And then everybody around that saw what went down, like, threw the card and called bullshit on him.
But I mean,
Like,
we tried to talk to the
so-
guy and tell him to clear rod,
Like
please.
I said, usually the guy getting mad and usually guy throwing hands up and freaking out, generally, like, that automatically shows, like, that's almost always the guy that's reacting like that is almost always the new guy or the guy that doesn't know or the guy that's in the wrong. Like,
And
so don't be that guy.
Nobody likes to be put on check either.
Yeah, well, he got put on check by like 15 boats.
This was about that.
Come
We
on,
didn't
dude.
care. We're keeping our lines in. We don't care if you got a 100-pounder on there. We're not reeling up.
Yep. And what happened? You tangled him. It pulled him out, put him out of the system. There was a bite going on, and he spent 20 more times the effort and 20 more times the time out of the water than had he just pulled his gear.
And we still landed the fish
And
because
you
I've
still-
learned to step up my line to where I can just drag in gear now.
Yeah, going.
Dragging gear.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to drag the fish and drag everything else in with it.
So talk a little bit about trolling in general out there, because sometimes I think people don't understand like the cadence of it, and I feel like that's where a lot of confrontations happen out there in that fishery.
Troll speed.
Just like, I mean, you got guys trolling up, you got guys trolling down, you got guys
So-
trolling
The trick is put your head on a
sideways.
Can I? Okay, so Marlon, I don't know. Can you guys hear Marlon okay?
They have to. I'm allowed to.
Okay, I just want to make sure because what Marlon's asking is like, give some guys some pointers. And since now we're talking trolling, everyone's calling me on trolling. Give some guys some pointers on what I can do. And the one, what's that? Don't be a dog.
Where?
I missed it.
It's gone.
Oh,
Try the
you
dog.
scroll up. Anyways,
Is it?
anyways,
It's gotta be a buddy of yours.
Who was it?
I don't know. Sorry.
don't be a dog. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
You know who Todd is.
Well, Todd.
Yeah, but I don't.
My biggest point for the guys trolling in the mess and when it's tight and things are going down, do not go up or down the river. And
I'm getting all the super.
thank you, Gaffney, for the super chat. Just one more laugh. Do not troll into, like, if somebody's trolling at somebody, right? And you guys have locked eyes. You're 100 yards away. You're 80 yards away. Someone's got to make a move. It's not
Ooh,
chicken.
the old chicken.
It's not chicken. What you need to do is realize, okay, people will just react to the one boat that they're squared up with, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, okay, I'm just going to move right and you're going to move left. And then that's all they think about. And then dump that move to the right. But they don't put themselves in the other boat situation because that other boat might have a boat next to them on that side.
Uh-huh.
And so when you see that situation, you have to kind of like, you got to think one step ahead, right? You got to think one step outside of yourself when you're trolling and know that, okay, it's not that I just need to move to avoid this guy. I need to move to where I can avoid him and then he can't make a move that's going to like screw something else up or tangle something else up. And people just do not do that. They only try to move their boat, but they don't like look at that boat and go like, well, he can't go that way or he can't push any further that way. So really I need to go the other way. And people don't take it that one step further, like ever.
Well, I think a lot of guys are on their toes. Like us, we're on our toes. We're watching. We got all these rods out. You're on your toes, and then half the guys are out there. They're not watching the rod. They're not paying attention to anything around us. And
That's what I was gonna say. Like Casey said it right out the gate. Is like I think the first thing to tell people is like when you're in a fishery like that, you have to pay attention.
yeah,
And there's too many people out there.
you can't have your
that
feet
like,
kicked up,
Dude,
reclined.
they're just like, and I'm like turning, I'm trying to like get out of the guy's way, and I'm like, this guy's not even watching.
Yeah, wake up, bud.
Yeah.
He's waving and smiling at you as he's driving into three other people.
Well, Travis Anderson just said, so the best thing to do is troll next to someone so you know you never have to move. Good advice. Well, it's not that you never have to move. It's just that you're going to get squeezed even tighter if those boats don't move for you. But instead of pulling beside
Short
somebody,
said it right.
what I generally do is I try to pull behind somebody. So, like, if I'm going up and making
Exactly
a move,
what I do. Yeah.
I never am the first guy that breaks out and goes back through the fleet. I will always be the guy, like, waiting, like, you going to do it? You going to do it? He makes that turn, and I just get right up on his butt, and I let him play. I let him be the blocker.
I just try to get behind Ryan and let him push people out of
So, hey,
Yeah,
one of the
Ryan's
biggest.
going
I know.
1,000 times faster than everybody else.
Hey, we all know where we're talking about. The biggest issue: quit hanging out below the freaking deadline. Quit hanging out in illegal water. I saw someone comment. I'm going to say it. Drano Lake, same thing. When guys are going way across it and coming back into the circle, it stops the whole circle. If everyone stays in the legal water and continues to move,
So,
it's not creating all this chaos when a guy's 50 yards outside the legal water and then comes back in and stops the whole fleet.
These are very specific fisheries we're talking about, too.
but the way you solve all that is you sit back and you watch. And you don't try to get into any of those mixes and just start doing some stupid, whatever. You try to do what
If
the
you watch
program
the
is.
video of that circle, look what happens when you stop. You get ran over in a boat accident and 17 boats tangle up. And so there's places where,
But see, this year, hopefully there'll be some other spring
and there's
fisheries
multiple
we'll do that.
fisheries where it's the same thing. Anytime the boats are across legal fishing waters, they're screwing up the whole pack of boats. And so I see that as a problem.
So round it out. That specific fishery, just round it out with like the top 5 things you need to know when you're out there. Quickly give it back to them because we talked about it a lot.
Yep, top 5 trolling. When in Rome, don't anchor in the troll lanes. I know you want to, but it's really, like I said, you can fish it or 60 boats can fish it.
Don't be
And
that guy.
you don't want to be that guy. And there's better places to anchor just up around the corner. I'll say it. So just, anybody who's anchored there obviously does not know what's a mile upriver or 2. Okay? I'll say it. There you go.
Anywhere.
2, always think outside yourself and outside the boat that's coming down. Like one step ahead, trolling mentality. Watch your rods.
Cameron, there's a
Watch
comment
your-
for you.
I missed it.
Nick, Shane.
I hate when guys don't. Yeah, cute.
I almost got him to do
Yeah.
it. Oh, is that close?
Well,
I should have pinned it.
I was gonna say that you hate me, man. So I don't know what to tell you. Alex.
Hey, Judge says it right. Don't worry, I have an autopilot and a 2-pull endorsement with a windshield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your TR1 direction and trolling does not dictate the fact that is not because you have a TR1 does not mean you have the right of way. Like, just, yeah, oh, I'm on autopilot mode. You guys all have to move your asses. No.
Don't be the guy that runs his autopilot all the time. Like,
You can't run
you're
that.
not feeling your troll for one, and for two, it's not. You got to turn it off to maneuver quickly.
Right.
And I see that a lot. Guys are like, do, and their motor's going cool. You got a TR.
Oh, where were you at on your list of 5 things that Marlon said? I had one for you.
What is it? Speed, go fast.
When you're fishing by yourself or with only 2 rods, they don't need to be sticking straight out the side of the boat to make your boat 17 feet wide.
Right.
I go out in evenings and take out deckhands, kids, friends, and if I go out with 2 sticks, they're straight out the back to make my profile. I am not going to create any more coverage with a 360 flasher straight out the side.
I do tell guys, though, that if they're trying to learn in those fisheries, to put it to the side so they can watch that.
Well, you can put it to the
angle
side.
better, but you know that.
Hey,
You know.
slight to the side and straight out to the side to see your rod thump.
That's your
That's
best
different.
rod thump.
That's a different thing. And say you're driving the boat, you're not familiar with 360 fishing. You're with a buddy. You guys are learning it. One rod up front that you can watch your thump. Run the other one straight out the back. You don't even see it, and all you hear is a clicker come off. Makes your profile smaller. Makes it so everybody's having less issues out there. I see that a lot.
Reel up when you got a fish coming your way.
Reel up when you got a fish coming your way. The time that it takes to reel up and redeploy is a fraction.
Tell the guy below you that you got a fish on coming his way. Yep.
What about motoring away from the pack when you hook a fish? Can we say that?
Sometimes.
I got threatened
Some
one
situations.
time on a Springer fishery like that. The guy's like, you make the deadline? I'm like, no, but... And all I said to the guy was, if you hook it in legal water, you can motor outside, which is how the rule was, and land the fish instead of stopping
Being
200
everybody's
boats.
way. Yeah.
So, if you're in a situation where it's legal in your area, if you can pull and slightly, even if it pulls some drag off, just motor your boat to the side and give other people opportunity to hook a fish.
So what happens
Where
there?
it's legal, where it's
we
legal to
fish?
do.
Yeah.
I don't. Where it's legal to do, that's a total area enforcement. That is not a question.
Yeah, because I see that all the time.
Oh yeah. No, I know, but that's for your area that you guys are fishing. Know your rules and regulations. I'm not gonna say crap on that one. But if you can pull the fish out of the way wherever you're at, pull
That's
it
what I
out
mean.
of the way.
If legal,
Get it out of the
if
way.
it's legal and you can do it, and you're not, then obviously.
If you're fishing a troll that's, where you troll and you get to the bottom and you turn around to run back up, I always try to if I'm 30 feet away from a boat, I'll pull away from the pack ways, and then if I got a boat that's right next to me and I want to get on step to run back to the top, I don't just get on step right next to them. I always let them go a little ways so I don't wake them out. And I appreciate when people do that for me, so I do it for people too.
There you go.
Yeah, and also don't run right up the middle of the boats.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
Don't
say
run
that.
out the troll lane.
I hate when people do that. I try to go outside the boats. Nope, you got these guys who are nah, just right up through the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
That happens.
Okay, talk more bank fishing because I feel like you didn't
Right,
cover
wild
very
steelhead.
much.
You said
Yeah,
something.
wild steelhead. I wanted you to talk about that for sure. 'Cause more and more every year, I see people not handling wild steelhead how they should be.
Oh, okay. So as far as etiquette goes,
Etiquette of
it's
handling wild
etiquette to the fish,
steelhead. Yes.
having proper handling etiquette.
I mean, let's talk about all these. Yeah, let's talk about all the pictures where the dudes are holding these wild steelhead in their boats like this, knowing that and damn well that it's really hard to hold a slimy ass fish in your boat, and that thing's gonna flop and just drop in the bottom of your boat head first.
So
Flop around,
etiquette
grab it
to our
again.
fishies.
You
then.
can't get a hold of them.
Yeah.
You just can't.
So what Marlon's saying is every year we see steelhead wild steelhead. Bringing steelhead up into the boat for pictures. Wild steelhead away from landing nets, not on the bank. And you know damn good and well, everybody who's caught a few steelhead knows how tough they are to handle them, and maybe not handling them in a way that if they were to fall, they would fall into the boat. I think that's, you see it all the time. I think it's a good way. It's legal in some areas. I think it's a really good way for wild fish groups and for people that are not necessarily sport advocates to see that you're handling fish probably in a way that really doesn't really need to be handled that way. I think that it opens up a lot of doors for regulations that could come down the pipe. So, you know, even though it is legal in some areas and a lot of guides and a lot of people do it, I think it's a dangerous practice, because the people that want to use that against the sport fishermen that are fishing wild steelhead will use that against the sport fishermen for wild steelhead. No question. In some places, it's 100% illegal to do that, to remove them from the water.
And the argument for a lot of people is in some places it is.
And you guys know.
So
you guys
careful handling tips. Go ahead.
It's just gotten real popular, you know, with social media and everybody
Everybody wants an out of
all of us have steelhead fished for a long time. We didn't care. We just caught them, revived it, and let it go. Now with social media, everyone wants those big fish out of the water so they can show all their friends. And at the end of the day, it is like you said. It's loading the clips for the anti-fishing groups. It's just giving them ammunition. Right. So
what's a clip?
You know, a little clip.
Clip giving them ammo.
Clip's something you put in your hair, I guess.
I think you need to go ahead.
Yeah, you can't. Right. And so you guys, and the thing about it is, nobody really purposely does it. Like, let's be honest. Like, we see a lot, and on our addicted forums and in our messengers and stuff, we do see a lot of pictures where guys like catch their first steelhead, and they're in tennis shoes, and they're up on the bank 10 feet away from the water, and they got this steelhead, and they're like, check it out. And it's like, man, that's a great fish.
Yeah.
But now we're going to have a teaching moment, because to get a fish to that point where you're holding it in the drift boat where it is completely docile, or you've got it up on the bank, means that you've probably also gotten that fish to a point where it just
toast
freaking can't fight anymore, right? A big wild steelhead up in a drift boat, in a sled, I'll say sled, might drive sleds too, way up on a bank, is to a point where it is super exhausted. Yeah. So that's one thing when people see that, and, you know, it's probably, like I said, not the best practice. So with that said, go ahead.
Oh, I've seen it so many times. A guy drags a fish at the hatchery on the bank, and it's just flopping its head on the ground and slamming its head on the ground over and over and over. And he turns around and even kicks it up on the bank, and it's got a fin. And I'm just like, okay, if I say something to this dude, if he's dumb enough to do this, chances are he's gonna be like, he's not gonna take advice.
Right. And then and like I said, that's just the kind of practice and kind of the ethics behind it that people that don't have our best interests in mind are going to use.
Don't be that guy.
But it shouldn't happen unless it's legal. No, well, Kevin, I think it's good for people, like you said, lots of new fishermen want pigs, but it shouldn't happen unless it's legal. I mean, there is legal ways to do it. Getting in the water with the fish, moving down to the fish's level, bringing the fish up against the boat. I think if you guys, like, even in our last like the birthday trip episode, you know, we catch a ton of fish, and a lot of times we're just like, if it's not a hatchery fish, we're not netting it, and we're just bringing it to the side of the boat and just popping it off with pliers and letting it go, or we're going to the bank, and then we're releasing the fish. So getting in the water with the fish is huge. Having a good set of waders. Sometimes
if you are wild steelhead fishing and you can't get in the water, you should not be wild steelhead fishing.
There's
Period.
a lot of new anglers that are going to
go. Shouldn't. Don't even go fishing.
Okay, so if you
go buy some $50 neoprene waders at Weimar, you can figure it out. Buy some boots. You should not be going fishing. You should be a responsible angler.
Or understand that you can go fishing, but you probably are going to have to forego that opportunity to get that picture.
You're not going to take.
You're going to pop it loose, have your buddy do it. Even if your buddy screams hatchery, always double check. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So get into that level, do that.
I kick them loose in my boat. I don't even take pictures anymore. If we're hatchery steelhead fishing on my sled and I see it comes up with a fin, I just pop the leader. A lot of times I don't even handle them. Don't let the client touch the fish.
Your cool picture on social media is not worth that fish's life.
No, and it doesn't. And all it is going to create problem for a guide or anybody that's posting it. It's going to create negative.
My mom won't let me buy waders, but I love wild fishing. Well, Kai, go get them, but don't drag them up the bank for pictures. Sometimes you might just have to get in the water, or maybe if it's a fish that's like worth it, you might have to get your feet wet. There you go.
I don't know, educating people on how these fisheries have gone downhill and taking care of these fish a little bit more these days is more important than in the 90s.
Do you think it, and this is the perfect segue, Joseph, do you think it is worth to play a fish out until it's tired or use a landing net? And I absolutely agree 100% with a landing net. And depending on your landing net, some are definitely, I believe, better than others. It's really hard, though, because we talk about safe, ethical handling practices on wild steelhead, but yet we have broodstock programs that we net fish 5 times, drag it up a bank, throw it in the tank, throw it in, and the survival rate is 6 times better than what the state.
And as soon as they've had some good water, they're like,
I don't understand. Right. Either way, it is a lot, like I said. But the idea that it's not, it's just kind of the right thing to do. But using a landing net, getting that fish, because when you get a fish in a landing net, and I'll promote our landing nets, but even a hoop net that's knotless and that's rubber, where it's not going to beat the fish up, fray the tails or do anything like that, I think it's still better than nothing. Just because once the fish gets in that net, and a lot of times they'll thrash around a bit, but usually once they thrash around a little bit, they kind of go, damn it, I ain't going anywhere.
I mean, my experience with the addicted landing bag is as soon as they get in there, they chill out.
Right. They feel the fin. They know they're well, they may try for a second. But the point is that when it's in the net, in the water, the fish is still in the water. And it just spent all its energy and just used every ounce of its, like I said, energy trying to get away from your ass. And then you're giving that fish a chance to revive. And so, like I said, just in good, common sense practices says, don't tire the fish out, bring him in the net, throw him in the boat, lift him up, take pictures, drag him in the bank. Leave him in the net, get down to their level, get in the water if you have to, hold it up right there to where if the fish does flop, it flops back into the net or flops into the water, and heaven forbid it just gets on its way. Yeah. It's just, it looks really bad, guys. And generally, because there's a lot of Facebook police out there, when someone does post those pictures, they generally hear about it. And then and then a lot of times it's the guy, most of the times they'll say it's the people that don't know. And so they're just stoked they caught a steelhead, and I'm stoked for them. They did it. They watched the addicted videos, they got themselves a fish. Great. Yep. But
I just think definitely pay attention to what Cameron's saying and all of us are talking about, you guys, because if we don't start taking these practices, the last couple things we got will be gone here shortly. So take those extra precautions and take care of those fish and treat them with respect.
You shouldn't have to have this conversation. Get the brood, get the fish. Hatcheries are the answer. Then you can hold the wild fish out of the water like we do in Idaho. Okay.
Honestly,
if there's millions of them,
I don't have a problem with holding the fish out of the water. I just think you need to do it in a way that's safe for the fish.
Well, you do it in a way that if the fish does fall, it falls back into the water and doesn't get injured.
I don't have a problem either. It's all the groups that want to use it against us. So we got to play the game. Yeah. That's what it is. The steelhead is one of the hardiest, especially winter steelhead. Talk about a delicate fish, anything in warm water. Anything in warm, low flow conditions.
I think some of our steelhead are probably as far as mortality rates goes, what the state says and what the reality is from 20 plus years of brood stocking says completely otherwise.
The state says somewhere between 8 and 10%, and Idaho's study was when the guides did it in cooperation with the state.
Right.
they came up with 2 to 3%.
Right.
So
And
that's a big difference
well,
when you're talking
and then
numbers.
And then the difference of that means that if we actually applied a mortality rate that made sense and that was actually backed by science and that was proven over and over and over again year out, we wouldn't be having these North Coast closures like we're doing. Because ultimately they would realize that we're not killing them. And yeah, I don't need to get into more of that. But it's like I said, good practice. Let's not give some of the anti-fishing folks, wild fish folks, any more ammo than they already have. Bastards. Have you had clients get mad for quickly releasing wild fish? Freedom, I have been in situations where I didn't have a choice. And whether I was anchored in a weird spot or a tough spot or a spot that I had to negotiate a wrap, I mean, it has happened. I'm not going to say it happens all the time, but it has happened or sometimes I've had a property owner that's not the nicest. I'm like, hey man, we can't really get out in the bank. Let's get a picture. We'll get you another one out. I mean, there are those situations where it just doesn't happen. And it's just a nice, see you later. Thanks for the fight, on your way. You have to.
And if guys get upset with that when it's a safety or the fish's life situation, you're probably not really needing that phone call back again,
right,
from that person.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, at the end of the day,
call another guide.
That guy caught that fish, hopefully because of good practices and maybe future or past generations taking care of him. So whatever. Yeah.
Take care of those steelheads.
Take care of them steelheads. Other tips.
Let's talk a little bit about. We've talked about main river salmon trolling. We've talked about small river tributary etiquette. We got a sturgeon fishery coming up, and we haven't talked about estuary sturgeon or upper sturgeon etiquette.
Yeah.
It's different in the lower river than it is in the upper river. Lower river, we're fishing shallow water.
Right.
It's kind of a unspoken rule that a lot of guys might not know. You don't go below someone when the tide's pulling out in the lower river. Now, upriver, you can anchor closer to people and not make people upset.
Let's talk just real briefly on the upper river, just because that's what we got time for. And that fishery does open next week. 10 days. So when guys are anchoring in 20 feet of water versus when guys are anchoring in over 100 feet of water, there has to be, when you're going to anchor down on top of somebody, you have to understand that if they're fishing in 100 feet of water, they could potentially have 250 feet of rope out.
Well, they should have
those distances. The deeper the hole, the more distance you got to give.
Technically, in 100 feet of water, you're supposed to have 300 out, Cameron.
Right, whatever. I don't care. I have seen over the years in those really deep spots where guys, like, I'll look up and they're coming down on your anchor line, and then first off, I eventually am probably going to pull my anchor line and want to leave one day.
Yeah.
And they're getting too tight, and it's kind of a thing where if this was like fall fishing, with wobblers and 40 feet of water, nobody'd care. Springer fishing, nobody'd care. But with those deeper holes, you got to understand, if someone's fishing a deep hole, you're talking 60, 70, 100 feet deep, they're going to have a lot of line out.
Yeah, if you got 250 feet of anchor rope, now the guy's casting his gear out, I guarantee you, his gear to get to the bottom, he's another 250 off his line counter.
Right. So just keep in mind, the deeper the hole, more room to give. But other than that, we have one more giveaway. What else do you want to touch on? I think we're kind of winding down. How many people we got there, Clint? Perfect. 400 of you dudes. I take care of steelheads, or we'll be fishing for sturgeon, catch it, release. Yep, exactly. Outdoors, Jimmy. I agree.
We got photos still too.
Okay, so what we're gonna do? Any more last little suggestions if you got into a situation? You guys have been commenting the whole time. We'll pick a winner from the comments, but if you do have another comment you want to make on something etiquette, pick these guys' brain, give us a situation. We'd love to talk about it. We're going to run through some of the photos. We're going to
do the giveaway before we do that.
No, we're not. We're going to make sure that the photos actually work good, so people stick around for some of these other. Yeah, Little Wig's like, crash time. Can you do it the way you did it last week? When it worked?
Well, I redid it all, so it should work. If it doesn't, I have no idea.
I wouldn't load all the images in at one time.
I already did it it crashed last time when it was loading as we were live.
So you loaded it
I
already.
loaded them all in.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. So.
Oh, here's some.
Oh, go ahead. Wait.
I think is that
scroll
guy.
up. Scroll up.
Is that guy talking etiquette about cleaning fish?
Oh, wait. Where?
Did you see that?
No. Cleaning the fish. Oh, where Kyle said it.
Well, I'm just because I saw that comment. I mean, etiquette on that at the boat ramps, you guys clean up after yourselves.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Don't leave your guts all over the ramp, on the docks, blood.
It's not an addictive giveaway if the stream doesn't crash.
It's happened twice.
I love you guys. Yeah. Okay, we're not talking. Okay. Yeah, I mean, same thing with fish cleaning. It's legal in some areas to dump the fish in the water. It's not legal for others. Know where you're at. A lot of times, I'll clean my fish in a no fish cleaning area, but I save all the guts. Yeah. Notice me. Been trying to ask about better ways to bank fish big rivers on the bank besides plunking. I fish near hog, but on bank.
You must have meant hog lines.
Okay, so thank you for the super chat. No, been trying to ask about better ways to bank fish. I mean, throwing spinners, bobbering.
Not
I mean, here's the thing, man. You can fish
on big rivers, not really.
Well, I mean, big rivers, the fish run on the bank. But a lot of times the guys plunking have, if there's guys hog lining up, like out in front of you, that's probably kind of the technique that works well there. So then guys would plunk the bank.
That's your traveling lane. Get your gear in, and
yeah.
you're
So
in the...
I don't really understand, but there's places on the really big river that we bobber fish, you know, especially for steelhead certain species. So there's other ways to fish for the bank. There's also some river mouths and places that you can get on the bank and throw spinners and be reasonably have a chance of being successful.
But I think
like
on the
towards
big
the dams,
on the big river,
yeah.
for salmon, plunking, keeping your gear down, and
Yeah.
in the traveling lane is going to be your most effective way to catch them.
Put your time in.
I'll talk about it. What is it?
We still have
Golden ticket? Oh yeah, someone asked about it. I was gonna.
we don't draw, so it goes through the end of the month, so December 31st.
Okay.
So
what's this?
there's 20 of them, so there's 20 different prizes you can win.
There's 20. See, this is all news to me.
Clint, can you pull up the Golden
Okay.
ticket on the website?
Real fast, we're gonna do one
That's
announcement, and then we're gonna do group pictures, and we're gonna do a giveaway. But keep, if I'm on the bank, it's small, I want to let jet slow down past me, make the smell worse.
Use a 3-ounce bobber for steelhead.
No.
Oh, wow.
3-ounce bobber for steelhead is typically.
Don't throw spinners while people are
Even though I
plucking.
have seen pop-up.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Talk about that.
Depends on where you're fishing.
It depends on where you're fishing. Exactly.
Okay. Real fast.
Right.
I've got 20 golden. Wait. Some of them have obviously gone out though. First. This isn't all of them.
No, this is a drawing.
I'm confused.
Watch, you're about to see.
All right, go up.
Basically, every dollar you spend on the website is an entry to the Golden Ticket contest.
Oh, I see. And you got it collected there.
Yeah, like
These-
people's entries are getting
Gotcha,
collected,
gotcha.
and then
Oh, yes.
once the 31st hits, we're gonna make.
You didn't send these out because I'm like, you should have probably already sent some.
No,
of
we
these
sent
out.
them out after they.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Golden trip
Click on it.
trip for 2. What are we doing here?
Are they seeing that clip?
Okay, so for every dollar that you guys have spent on the store, addicted.fishing, I can't remember one of the guys that had the shopping problem, but here's another good reason to have a good shopping problem. You can enter blah, blah, blah. Every dollar is an entry. We're going to run these up, and you can see we've got 20 different prizes. Fishing trips across the board with
Actually,
me,
it looks like
Nick,
there might be more.
Jordan.
Maybe there's more than 20 prizes. Maybe not.
There's 13. That's, keep going. What, you're giving away a fish finder and a Kong cooler? Holy crap.
Yeah, we're giving away some good.
So
shit.
there is still times. Now, here's a question. For those guys that haven't bought movie tickets, does that count for this?
Yeah.
So movie tickets too, guys.
It's any purchases. On
Any
the website.
purchases on the website. I'm just making sure.
Yep.
Because to me, like, you know, obviously Christmas is just days away. Merry Christmas, everybody. But if they,
I've already
they
got a
still,
couple messages too, which is funny. If I win the grand prize, can I switch it to the third or fourth or second or third prize?
Oh,
like,
I send you.
well, I can
Shots
guarantee you
fired.
they're not gonna win. Yep, and you can also not catch as many. I don't give a shit. Oh, I said it. I said it.
Yeah, so we got a
I
calm
said it.
cooler, we got a hummingbird fish finder.
Yeah, see, YSK have the first prize. I had nothing to do with it. When Marlon put this together, this came up and he basically said, "Here it is." I went, "Okay." So you know what? I'll tell you, if you win first prize, you can pick whichever three you
those
want.
other two prizes we're not filming. So the
Oh.
first prize is like for an episode of
So the
Addicted.
first prize is for an addicted life in my. Okay, so
The second tour just got
the second tour just
fishing
guided
trip for
you.
two.
Got it. So whatever. Anyways, I had nothing to do with this. So yeah, if you want to go filming with
Neither
me
did
and you win the
Jordan.
first
They don't
prize,
even know that
there
they
you
gave away trips.
yeah, like I said, this was news to me when this launched, and here I'm holding the ticket. So, anyways, you guys get the fun we have here. Anyways, every dollar spent on the store gets you an entry into this for those 20 prizes. So there's still time. There's still time. And there's our producer putting up something that has no reference to what we're talking about now. It's not even that
The
funny.
side cam.
Yeah, you put up the side cam. I don't. It's like I don't. Oh, it's just terrible.
It makes people laugh.
I want
Yeah,
to.
you're welcome to have this seat anytime.
Okay, keep talking.
The
The grand prize is legendary. Holy shnikes. Please pick me. All you guys saying, please pick me. If you haven't bought movie tickets, boom. Go to the website, addicted.fishing. Viewer photos. Let's see if it crashes. We'll be right back here. First viewer photo. Photo? First view photo? What's a photo?
I don't know.
You know a photo, guys? Yeah, photos. Photos, guys.
It means
Let's
something
talk.
somewhere.
Come on, Clint. Let's see a photo.
You want me to do it?
1. Start. Go slow. Go gentle. Be gentle. Here's a photo of a fish in a landing net in the water from Adam. Looks like a coho. Perfect. And my guess is it's probably a wild because I'm going to just assume that if it was a hatchery, it'd be dead up on the bank or a kept fish. So there you go. Nice picture. Good job, man. Look at that. Nice addicted beanie, Alex Jr. Congrats on your fish, bro. Andy Grossbeck. Chinook. Springer?
Fall.
Fall.
I recognize
Summer.
that rock.
You know that rock?
Yeah, I know where that is.
I got you. Barry Lint with some nice hose. Nice ones. Big ones, too.
Yeah, one's a good one.
Late ones. Good job, Barry. We got Colton Swift with a nice steelhead. Don't treat your reel like that, bro. It makes me cringe. I'm kidding. Good fish. Another good fish there by David Benner. Congrats. Any good Joaquin will talk about that in a second. Dusty Sanchez, nice trout man, or coho.
It looks like a little hatchery coho.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Good work. Nice eater there. Look at that big steelhead Griffin.
Stud. Love a fish.
Have you caught any steelhead yet? Look at that cutty. Ivan, beautiful fish.
I haven't even wet a line for one yet.
I know.
Me neither.
Another one, Ivan. Is that the bait? I'm kidding. Nice fish, man. Ivan with another one. The big coho. Heck yeah. Studs. Jason, where is that? I know where that's at. This big secret hole right there. Another fish, Jason. Congrats.
Couple coho. No, those are steelhead. Yep, steelhead.
Jeremy Strickland. Nice work. Dog's making sure it's in check. Oh, God. Okay. Kayla Grossbeck. Another Chinook. Nice work. Where's that one at? Do you know that one? Do you know that spot?
Way upriver.
Probably.
Kind of deserty. Oh, I think I know where that's at now that you did that.
Snake.
Oh, never mind. Kevin, nice fish, man. Freedom. Well,
It kind of looks like our river.
we're going to talk about that in just a second, Freedom. Another one by Kyle Cox. Nice fish. I'm assuming, once again, another wild. You just kind of got it in there. Maybe keep
Coho.
bashing off the rocks, but at least it's down in the water. Good job, man. Another coho, Mark. Nice work. Scott McLean with Marlin's favorite way to fish in the world. I don't know. That fish looks like it would tear up a fly rod. That'd be fun.
It would.
That'd be awesome. Steve Fox with a stud. I know where that is. Do you know where that is?
It looks real familiar.
Yeah. Were you anchored in that spot with 50 people trolling? Just kidding. Another nice one from Steve.
You know where that is too. Look at
Do I know where that one is? I don't know where that one is.
look at the bridge and the houses.
Yeah.
That's the hill.
Oh, yeah. Steve Moraz, nice fish.
Just the middle finger of the no-till.
Food Tran, Steelhead Slayer, Master, what's up?
Pop-off gloves.
Nice fish. Oh, he's doing the pop-off. That's right. We have those gloves for sale on our website, too. Vu, we need to get going. I know you're probably not watching, but we need to do some steelhead this year, man. Wyatt Rutledge. That's a massive humpy. And that's probably his girlfriend.
That's a hen humpy.
That's a hen humpy. Nice work. Cool. Awesome fish, guys. And, oh, we made it. We're good. We survived.
Somehow ended with a black screen of death, but
Yeah, you know, everyone clicked off because they thought it was gone. But, you know, can't expect much. Freedom asked if there's some steelhead around, guys. What do you guys say?
There's more than
last year.
yeah.
That's not saying much.
No, but
Everyone just went quiet on me.
I was gonna
I
say,
was gonna ask,
at least
so-
social media
right,
seems
right,
like
right.
it.
So a lot of there's a lot of pictures going around, which is great. I mean, like I said, very cool.
A lot of small A run, which usually means good for.
What are your guys' plans the next couple months? Do you do any sturgeon fishing? Do you have any sturgeon? Do you have any spots open? For
I
the
have some
short future.
I have some days after the 10th. Not knowing if the season's going to make it. You remember last year it only went 6 days. So I do have some room after January 10th, but we'll just see how it goes. I'll put
I think
people
it's going to
on.
be a long season because that weather looks miserable.
Welcome to the hell.
Welcome to the Columbia Gorge. in
Then as soon as the
January.
quota's met, it's all steelhead for me all the way till I fish lower Columbia Springers, and that should be around the end of March.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lower river closure this year.
No.
Some rivers, whatever. I mean, it's all on the data. For you guys to look. Counts got good return. Wind's got some return. We might actually have some
And we got bait this year, you guys.
acceptable Springer fishing. What about you, Case? What are you doing?
I'll do a few hatchery steelhead days, and then I'll just be targeting springers hard after, like I said, end of March.
End of March.
Yep. I think it's going to be a really good year.
If you guys, anybody's interested in going fishing, and you don't want to go with me, which is okay, you don't want to go with me. You'd probably rather go with these two guys, Northwest Columbia Adventures.
Fishing adventures.
Northwest Columbia Fishing Adventures. Casey Kelly, Ryan McCon, Riverside. I personally would go with better than Riverside Guide Service, but Riverside Guide is really okay too. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Who is
Check
There's
that
a
out.
guy that has his name better than?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
Better than Riverside Guide Service.
I don't believe it.
Riverside Guide Service, check him out.
Somebody please.
Doing a lot of
Start-
fishing.
start
These
a
guys,
guide
are,
service
these
with that
guys are
name.
murdering machines. It'll be a good time. Let's
Yeah, it
pick
should
our
be.
winner
Should be.
and get out of here.
I honestly think it's going to be real good for
All
those
around.
hatchery steelhead.
I mean,
Come February, March.
sockeye numbers looked okay. Summer Chinook numbers looked okay. A lot of opportunity.
That's my favorite.
Summer Chinook.
Hey,
Me too.
my whole prediction is slightly better than last year. I thought last year was pretty good.
It's awesome.
Last year for
thought it was-
salmon, for Chinook,
Frick, it was
yeah,
nuts.
no one's going to complain. And if
Our
you
ocean's
complain, then
looking
you
good.
probably shouldn't fish.
I mean, overall, I don't think steelhead was that bad. Yeah, they shut down a bunch of rivers I wanted to go to, but
Steelheading, wild
Summer Chinook
steelheading.
were the only 2 times I had confrontations on the river all year last year was during Summer Chinook.
Huh.
Once in my boat and once on the bank.
Yeah.
Just people being pissed.
Oh,
With the same.
so one more super chat, and then we're gonna pick a winner, guys. Our opinion on sucker fish and what you should do with them.
Leave
I
'em.
read they are good in the rivers. Lately, I've been going out and watched a kid rip the gills out and chop off their head and toss them back.
Suckers are
good.
great.
they're great. They're the cleaner of the
So-
river.
It's pike minnows you want to kill.
So right, I was just gonna say, like, as long as if he's catching a bridge lip sucker, then they need to go back. But there are pike minnows too, and there's some pretty big ones in the tributaries right now.
Suckerfish don't have teeth. If they have
Right.
teeth, they're predator fish.
Pike minnow don't have
Are
teeth
you even
either.
can you kill suckerfish? Is it legal?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
it's
mean,
legal.
it probably
You
is. I
can't
think
waste any fish,
I
though,
think
right?
you can
No,
have
you
it.
can't waste them. I'm just wondering
Right.
if you could retain them and eat them or try.
Technically, that's
So-
not true. Carp, you don't
Go
have
for
to
it.
retain. You
So-
can shoot them all day and leave them.
Okay, so regardless, suckerfish
Washington.
have the mouths on the bottom.
You can't.
The little brown ones are like brown and gold. Like, I let them go. I always say unless you're going to kill and eat it, unless it's a dirty pike minnow. And pike minnow have more, instead of the mouth being on the bottom, they have the predator mouth. They have the actual like mouth going forward.
They're lighter.
They're a little lighter, green, more olive.
They
They're
don't
not
look
the
anything
gold
like a
browns.
sucker.
They
don't
look kind of like a walleye,
right,
actually.
But sometimes,
Yeah,
like, people would, yeah, they do look like a walleye.
Oh, great. Now here
Those
we go.
ones.
There's going to be so many posts in the Addicted Forum tomorrow with pictures of swawfish. What is this fish?
Hey,
That's what
as long as it's on the
conversation
Columbia, there's not a limit on
So
either
every
one.
Time, every time we catch one in bass terms, we go, oh, it's a toothless walleye. Anyways,
I wonder
So,
how-
as
how
long
many
as they're-
they might be good.
they're killing
Sign
pike.
up for the program and get paid to do it.
That doesn't work. Only works in the Columbia. Yeah. So don't kill the suckers, but kill the pike minnows.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, suckers are cute.
Pick a winner, Clint. Where'd that last bag go? Right here. Oh, I got it. We got a winner, guys. What's it gonna be? The prize pack and the Bonk 'em all fillet bag, which are available in 10s and 100s. No, someone wants a 500. Can they do a 500?
Yeah, buy five.
There's no quick way to quantify. Okay. Well, I know how they're cased, bro. I'll have to make it easier for them.
No one wants 500 except you three.
I'll take
I was
500.
like, and he's taking 500 today, and Casey's taking 500. And I would, but I have 500 already in my garage.
Actually, I'll take 1,000. I'll take his 500 if you can't carry him.
Lee Lively, congratulations. You won by saying yes, pull. I'm guessing you're saying yes, wallop. So congratulations. Please email orders@addicted.fishing, and we will tell them you won the prize pack in the new Bonk 'em all fillet bags. And we will throw that out of here. And with that, we wish you guys all a Merry Christmas, and we will see you next week. Thank you, Casey, Kelly, and Ryan McCon for coming in tonight, answering some cool questions on etiquette.
And ask if they want to see
And
more.
If
people
you
like
guys
this.
would like to see more of these dudes, well, we're gonna get off
Or
the feed,
anyone.
or anybody. Don't feel free to message me anytime. We'll get some ideas and keep. Maybe if you don't want to see me, tell me you don't want to see me, dude. I'll bail. But we'll keep these live feeds fresh for you guys. And
You're their
That's it.
god.
yeah, right. We'll see you guys. Merry
I
Christmas,
hope people
everybody.
post that.
Good night.